And I got pushback for this, man. And at the time, I'll admit it, I was getting burnt out, man, on the crime thing.
Why were you getting burnt out?
Because I didn't agree with everything, you know?
When you say you didn't agree with.
Like, I didn't agree with 215 people unless it was a real 250.
What did that do for you when you knew that you didn't want to frisk these people? You knew that it was daytime, you weren't dealing with gang members. It was just maybe Joe Schmo drinking on the corner, 50, 60 years old. What did that do for your emotions and for your mental state?
Man, like you try to justify it somehow, but in the end, you kind of know, man.
How'd you do that?
So there was a shooting when I make that right cut back towards him, my knee gives out. But I got so much adrenaline in me, I don't feel it. And I still believed. I was still having fun, man.
Yeah.
I still felt it was my purpose. Now I'm grieving two things almost.
Wow.
So,
What happened to your life from there?
So there was a point I told my wife to take me to the psych ward and just leave me there, man. Just go continue your life, man. I fell off my washing machine, hit the floor.
Wow. Eric, how you doing today?
Pretty good, Lenny. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Welcome to the Purpose Over Pension podcast. And you and I, we've been talking back and forth on social media. We worked together for a while. Correct. And you saw a few of my posts and you felt like you had a message that you really wanted to get across. And you're my first guest.
And Bradley and Lenny, I'm honored to be your first guest, to be honest with you. And I'm glad you're giving me this platform to elevate my voice, because I have some important stuff to say today, and hopefully it'll change some minds.
Yes, absolutely. And with what it is that you've already shared with me, I know that it will.
Yeah.
So if you could just get into your background, where you grew up, where you're from.
Sure. I grew up in New Jersey, not that far from New York City, like a couple miles from the George Washington Bridge. And went to college, high school, dropped out of college, had a bunch of jobs, didn't really know what direction I wanted to take my life, you know what I mean? And kind of doing things the wrong way, was partying a lot. Made a decision at some point I should do something different. So I was driving a limo, and I would go into New York City a lot. You know, this is before Uber. I'm going to show my age here. And I would talk to NYPD cops, because they'd be busting my chops to move the limo away from Radio City. It'd be double parked, and they would be like, take the test, you know? So I wound up taking the written test, and I got called pretty quickly. And it happened really quickly. But I'm not one of those guys that always wanted to be a cop.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I was talking to the guys out there, you know, out in New York, when the limo, I realized they're just like me, man. Just regular dudes, you know? You know, so I had some misconception about police a little bit before I was a cop. You know, not all my interactions were the greatest. So I didn't look at them like the bad guy. I respected what they did. So it's not like I didn't like cops, but it's not something that I thought I had to do, you know? So I took the test. They called me pretty quick, and I wound up getting hired, going to the academy, wound up in the 2-3.
Nice.
Then I mean, and then a little while later, I get to meet you. You happen to be in the same row of lockers as me.
Right.
And just to give a little background to the people out there, we weren't like friends, right? We didn't like hang out. But we always cordial, and we had good conversations down the locker room, just because we were different tours, but we're always there, change the tour.
Yep.
You know? So I always respected that, you know? And I always respected the conversations, to be honest with you, with anybody down there.
Yeah, I told my wife that yesterday. I was like, crazy enough, Pags is one of those guys that when I was a rookie and I came there for impact, I would ask you a few questions. And there was a time where I was in a bit of a jam, and I asked you.
I remember.
Yeah, and I asked you for your advice, and you, and I forgot the other detective, he gave me some great advice, and I went with it. I did the right thing.
Yeah, so where that came from, I'm going to be honest with you. When I was a rookie at Impact 2, there was a time that 2 detectives helped me. It's all right if I say their names?
No, go ahead. Absolutely.
All right, so one time, you remember, I'm going to show my age again, when we used to have typewriters, right?
Yeah.
All right, so before they had the So to the younger cops out there, or I mean, only the old timers are gonna remember this. When you had a voucher property, you needed to find a typewriter that worked, and it was always an issue because all the typewriters are broken or there was no ribbon.
Right.
So I had to voucher something. I'm brand new, and everybody's kind of just like not helping me, So I'm like, all right, whatever. So I'm running around looking for ribbon because I got to voucher this thing. I forget what it was. It was an arrest or something. I can't recall what it was, but somebody's like, go up to the squad, like laughing. You know what I mean? You know what? I'm gonna go up to the squad, and they all kind of staring at me, and honestly, the senior detective up there, who I believe just retired, Charlie Freitag.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm looking for a ribbon, and he goes, "What do you need, kid?" And I said, "I need a ribbon so I can voucher something on the typewriter downstairs." And he goes, "All right, come over here and sit at my desk."
Really?
Yeah.
So that is a shocker because, especially in our era, it's like 05, 06 we're talking about here, right?
Yeah. So I'm already breaking the rules,
right,
by even going up there to ask.
right. So there was already a stigma, and what would you say that stigma was?
The stigma was like, you're a rook, figure it out. Don't bother those guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, so, but he was real nice about it, and I'll never forget it, man. So I thank him for that. And I sat at his typewriter, and he had this old cool typewriter, man, that the ball spun. I'll never forget it, man. Like I could see me vouching in my head right now because it was important to me that he helped me out. I don't know if I ever said thank you to him then. And that's another important point I'm going to make here. Never forget to say thank you to people, man.
Yeah.
Because you might never get the chance.
That's
so
amazing.
If he's never heard it, I'm saying thank you now.
Yeah, I'll make sure I send this clip over to him.
Number 2, another detective with a lot of time who helped me, which is going to lead to how it helped you, Billy Dunn.
Great.
So this is a little later, though. It might have been a heavier arrest. And Billy Dunn just told me, always say how it was. Exactly how it was. Because you did your job out there. It's not your job to get a conviction.
Right.
So just tell the ADA how it was. And don't try to, make it fit in the box. It is what it is. And if the case blows up, doesn't work out, you did your job, whatever happened.
Right.
You got the gun off the street, you got the robber, whatever, at least off the street for the night or whatever it was, you know what I mean? But it's not your job to get a conviction. That's supposed to move up.
Right.
When the detectives get the case and it goes to ADAs and all that. So I think a lot of cops, younger cops, think they got to make it fit in a box. Like their job is to make it perfect. Like if they're afraid of getting a declined prosecution or they're afraid the case is going to fall apart. But at the end of the day, it don't matter. You did your job. And I think a lot of guys get in trouble trying to make stuff fit in a box, man. I'm not talking about like outright lie, but, just making stuff fit in a box. And you can't do that. Because if it goes to trial, you're going to get destroyed.
Exactly.
And then you could be in the position where now you're the one.
Right.
In the handcuffs.
Yeah. And when I spoke to you, it was because a police officer told me I was handed an arrest while I was in the precinct on the TS.
Correct.
And they brought in a DWI collar.
I remember.
You remember everything.
I remember the conversation, man. That's really? How law enforcement. That's crazy. That's how law enforcement is. Like, the important stuff, you never forget, man. Like, I could testify for some cases right now.
Really?
Yeah.
But that's amazing that you still remember the conversation, me just being a rookie. And
I could see it right now, man.
Wow.
I swear.
Yeah. Well, I just want to let you know that it was Detective Rourke. That was his name.
Okay.
And Mo Rosales. So all three of you were in my row.
Yeah.
And all three of you gave me the same exact.
Mo, rest in peace, Mo.
That's right. Gave me the same exact advice. And I knew what was the right thing to do in my heart. But being that I was told by somebody that if I didn't take this arrest, then the captain wasn't going to get credit. And back then, things were so number heavy.
Yeah.
And I was already on the midnights because as an impact cop, I wasn't like super active. I just did what it is that I needed to do. And I felt like I was placed there because I wasn't one of these go-getters. So I already felt that I had something to prove. And I didn't want to get placed in another negative situation. And once again, you and those other two officers really helped me out. So Eric, tell me a little bit about your background growing up, your family dynamic.
So I had a wonderful family life, man. I'm not gonna lie. My parents were great. Like I didn't have a bad family dynamic where struggle was there. I didn't. I grew up in like kind of a blue collar, middle class town, very tight knit town, small high school. Only had because New Jersey doesn't do a lot of regional high schools.
What town?
Palisades Park, New Jersey.
Okay.
So it's literally right over the bridge. Like it was closer to the 2-3 than when I lived in Queens.
Really? Right over the G-Dub?
Well, Fort Lee's the first.
Okay.
And then Palisades Park. So if you take 46 off of the George Washington Bridge, the first exit is going to be Palisades Park.
Oh, that's crazy.
Down 6th Street.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it always made me weird, like you can't live in New Jersey. But I was like, I was closer there, but hey, that's the rules, right?
Right.
So I moved to Queens. So I didn't grow up in New York as a New Yorker, even though I spent a lot of time in New York. So I guess I'm not a true New Yorker, man. I'll put that out there. I'm actually from Jersey, but it doesn't matter to me, man.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Same thing pretty much. You're right there.
Yeah. And then, there's another thing in the academy. Where I sat in the academy, going back to that first point, there was a sign on the wall that said, "Don't commit a crime to solve a crime." Like right in front of me, man. Like right. Like right where that retired 402 is sitting. Like that's what I looked at every day.
Don't commit a crime
to solve a crime. Which means don't try to make it fit in a box, man. Because you try to change anything on a crime, I don't care. And some people think like, it's just nonsense, Kyle. It'll never go to trial. So I don't got to be 100% squared away. But you never know when something's gonna go to trial, man.
That's
and
right.
then now the ADA is looking at you.
Yeah.
And ADAs, I don't want to say that they're not your friend or your friend, because you working together, but locking up a cop is a bigger case.
It's a good look for them.
Yeah, man. It is what it is, man.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
They're there to do a job. They're there to move up, and
it's happened to good cops, man.
Yeah,
like guys, good cops, man, and they just made a poor decision. And so I'm grateful for that sign, whoever wrote it, and Billy Dunn.
Yeah, and it helped me out. That's crazy.
Because I'm looking at first grade detectives, Yeah. I'm talking about. I think Billy's still up there,
He is.
That's awesome. And Charlie just left. So I'm talking guys that had 20 years on the job already. Yep. Top of the line, first grade detective. So when they talk, listen.
And I think that really, I think the fact that they were so humble and willing to help you.
Yeah.
With them being senior detectives up there.
And they had no reason, man.
And then you have the guys that aren't even senior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they weren't. I
want to treat you like crap.
Like I went up there. I remember when I went to use the typewriter, half the guys wouldn't even look at me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just part of the culture. I'm not knocking them, man, because it's part of the culture.
Sure.
But I'm grateful for the guys that stepped up.
But you know what? You're not knocking them. You're not singling anybody out. But This is one of the reasons why you're here today, because of certain stigmas that are ingrained in law enforcement culture.
Yeah, and it's toxic, man.
It is. It can be.
So because of that, I'm not trying to say I'm holier than thou, man. Like I made a lot of mistakes too, but I never did that. Like start changing stuff. And I mean, I got pushback, man.
Yeah.
When
you say changing stuff, what do you mean?
Like when you get handed a collar. Like, so it happened to me too, not when I was in Impact or in Special Ops, but I don't know if you recall, I left Special Ops and went back to patrol.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. I didn't get kicked out of Special Ops.
Yeah.
So what had happened is.
So what I was going to ask is if you could kind of go through your process, like your development as a police officer, like the units and.
Okay, so when I come out of the academy, they put us in Impact, right?
Right.
So we're assigned to the 2-3 temporarily in Impact. It's not guaranteed to be our permanent spot. And it was a big Impact class. A lot of us in the 2-3. So we know we're not all staying. Doesn't matter. So you go out there in the street and stand foot posts in Spanish Harlem. Don't know anything, man, except what they told you in the academy. And I didn't like this about it to this day. But you're basically getting trained by people that only have 6 months more than you.
Right.
So what do they know?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not knocking them either, because I had to do the same thing too.
Yeah.
You know, but that's how it was set up.
Right.
Senior guys kind of kept their hands on, you know what I mean? But there was a few times where senior guys out there just stepped up, you know, and kind of showed me that, you know, the right thing to do out there. And a lot of guys just called you rookies and just kind of roll by, you know?
Yeah,
that's part of the game, you know what I mean?
Right.
You got to earn your stripes. But when you're out there and you're just learning, man. But I'm grateful for the squad I was in. I remember the name, L2. And it was just great guys in there, man. I'm going to say names. Alvarez, Moncayo. I'm going to miss some names here. And these guys were all like war veterans. Chambers. Ruiz. I'm trying to think of what else. Puello. You know, just all good guys, man.
Yeah, they were great guys.
And some of them just had come back from like Iraq and Afghanistan. And I'm like, man, I was a limo driver, man. I was surrounded by like greatness, man. Like I was humbled by it.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. They probably never heard this, but I was. You know, I respected it, man. I never joined the military, and these guys went out there and put their life on the line for our country. And a lot of them lost friends out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, one thing I would have to say is I know that those guys really respected you as well. I'll never forget when Alvarez told me a story about you. I don't know if you were chasing, if somebody had just committed a robbery or something like that, but you pretty much commandeered somebody's bike. Somebody was riding a bike and you was like, let me borrow that bike. You took the bike. Went after the guy that committed whatever crime it was.
That might have been Puello that took the bike.
They said it was you.
I don't know. I could have been, man.
They said it was you.
I was before I messed my knee up, I was always nobody ever got away from me.
Oh, yeah. They called you Dash.
Yeah.
That's right. They called you Dash.
And
right?
The guy who gave me I want to give props to the guy who gave me that name, and that was Detective Darryl White.
D. White.
Yeah, man. He's the one who gave me that name.
Really?
Yeah.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
But until I blew my knee out, nobody ever got away from me, man. I never lost anybody.
I heard.
Well,
that's how I knew that name.
I was a cross-country runner in high school. And even though when I got to 2-3, I was a little, I'm leaner now, but I was a little heavier.
Yeah.
Probably because I drank too much beer. We'll get into that too. But I was still quick, man.
When they told me that, I was like, Pags? There was yes, nobody gets away from this dude. That's why we call him Dash.
So I was an endurance runner. So, you know, like guys in the hood, they got like one block, right? They could be but that's all they got.
Yeah.
Because, you know, smoking weed or whatever, their pants were on, you know what I mean? They're not in athletic attire. And I knew if I could get them before they got in the building, so I wait from the tire out a little bit and just turn on the second gear, and I would always catch them.
That's great. So, yeah, like I said, those guys had a lot of respect for you. I never heard anything negative. It was always that you were a go-getter, and when you were out there, you were just putting the pedal to the metal.
They were too, you know, and, you know, we're just trying to do what we thought was the right thing out there. You know, like, I don't know if it was or it wasn't in the end, but we were just trying to catch bad guys, right?
Right.
That's what we were told to do. That's what we were trying to do, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe we wrote one too many summonses to people that shouldn't have got them. You know, maybe we didn't use enough. What's the word they use? I can't
discretion.
Maybe we should use a little more discretion on some things.
Yeah.
You know when I look back at it. You know?
Right. That era, and when it came down to discretion or lack thereof, do you feel like it was a lot of pressure on you because of the numbers, or do you feel like it was just a cultural thing or tradition that if you're out there, you got to do the best that you can to bring back numbers?
It might have been like a little competition thing. You know, you had 3 impact squads, right? You know, during I think you had 6. Now that I think about it,
6 squads.
Well, you had the day tour.
Oh, so we didn't have that.
So we had a lot. So we had day tour impact, and I forget how many. I wasn't in day tour impact.
Okay.
I was in nighttime impact, which was 1800 to 0200.
Right.
And there was 3 squads: L1, L2, L3, and we were all on L2. And I lost my train of thought there for a second, man.
No, we were just talking about the different squads and the numbers game as opposed. You said it was a competition.
So I think a little bit became a competition between like L2, L3, L1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like who could get the top dog out here?
Right.
You know what I mean? Who could get the most summonses, catch the most bad guys? You know what I mean? I don't think it was about we were trying to, at the time when I look at it, I don't think it was about trying to elevate our career, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't look at it that way.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I mean, I saw, you know, especially ops guys out there, you know what I mean? And then we had sergeants that I respected that just kind of like said, yeah, go out there and work, man. That's what it's about.
Nice.
And we got pushback for it.
Yeah.
We got hate for it, man.
Of course.
You know, the older guys in the precincts, like, well, what's wrong with you guys? You'll learn one day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But we were just trying to, you know, it wasn't looked at as a good thing by senior cops, especially patrol cops.
Was that passed down, that competitive nature or the will to want to go out and generate those numbers or to lock up as many people as possible, even though you said that it was more like a competition, was that something that was passed down from the previous class where they said, listen, you got to get out there, you have to hammer people, or was that you guys were naturally go-getters?
They didn't really say that. You know, I remember one of the guys I got paired one day who I wound up working in crime with was Georgiades, another guy, man.
Yeah.
Cool guy. And I worked with him in crime. And he was just like, Will, we got to do verticals. You know, we did some 250s, which was when you were, you know, stopping people in the hallway, didn't belong there. You know, he was just kind of teaching me the ropes. He wasn't saying you had to hit a certain thing or a certain thing or a certain thing.
Fair enough.
But I think patrol, you know, that had that culture where you had to stay in a certain thing, otherwise, certain numbers. Otherwise, you were considered.
Make you look bad.
It'll
make other people look bad.
You're putting pressure on the guys who don't like the right so much.
Right.
So they say there was no number, there's a number. And whatever the boss's number was, the squad number would be different. And they try to keep everybody even with it, so nobody stuck out.
Right.
Or nobody fell low.
Right.
So everybody was kind of equal, so nobody was getting pressure on them, which I understand. Because you don't want a guy in your squad who's not a big fan of writing to just be getting hell all the time because you wrote too many, you know what I mean? Right. So there was that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So
that's all a part of the culture as well. So you went from Impact, and then from there, what did you do?
They kept me in the 2-3. So a lot of people went to different precincts in Manhattan North, or ones with hooks went to wherever they went, to different boroughs.
Sure.
But most stayed in Manhattan North, 3-0, 3-2, 3-3. But that group, Chambers, Moncayo, Alvarez, Puello, me, I can't think of else. Rios, but Rios was an L3. See, I remember. And a couple other guys that they kept. You know, I forgot how many they kept in the end.
Do you think that's because of your activity? Because of your
definitely
proactive? Gotcha.
I think it was because of our activity. And even though we were young and didn't know a lot, and we were probably putting ourselves on the line a lot, because I don't know if anybody knows this, until you got 3 years on, you don't got much union protection. So anything goes wrong out there, you get administrative fired. You're not going through the union, protection process.
Well, you got the 18 months, right?
What do you mean?
It's the 18 months of probation.
PPO?
You come out the academy.
It's 3 years, I think.
I thought it was 18 months. No, it's 3 years.
I think it's 3 years.
Okay, gotta check.
I think you're a PPO. I don't know, but it's a while. So we were probably being that active with that little union protection is dangerous.
It's risky.
But it's a thing we didn't know or think about.
Right.
We came in, like, at the end of the day, if you're going to do a job, right? Like, I'll tell you another story about being a cop. So when I said I was going to join the NYPD, people were like, why don't you just join the small town cop thing in New Jersey? And I'm like, first of all, there's a lot of politics involved in that. It's not like civil service, you know?
Right.
I think you do take a civil service test, but whoever gets hired or not is a little political or very political.
Definitely.
I mean, to the point where you got to put yard signs, whoever's in power. I mean, like, and I don't want no part of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they don't have a union protection. I want to, like, even keel. And two, I've always felt this way in life. It's just who I am, actually. If you're going to do something, like, do it, man.
Right.
Like NYPD, right? The finest. Like, I live right there. Like, and I think it was more concerned about my safety.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, a small town cop is as much danger as an NYPD cop. I don't care. You know what I mean?
Right.
They think there's more danger over there because the neighborhood's a little rougher or whatever, but any day, any time. I mean, we learned that from watching cops, man. Anything could happen, bro.
Yeah, I mean, look at the police officers that were killed in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, just the other day, right?
Yeah, it was a cornfield.
Just domestic, right?
It was a domestic issue. Guy was hiding out in the cornfield, and
they were actually at the victim's house, right?
They were at the Vic's house.
But she wasn't there. She wasn't there.
I don't know if she was there or not, but I know that the suspect.
Yeah, and they were very senior cops.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he just lit them up as they walked through the open door.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you stayed in the 2-3. From the 2-3, I assume that you went to patrol.
Early on, yeah, I was in Caraballo Squad, C2, and me and Puello were partners.
Okay.
And we out there, again, getting a little bit of pushback because we were probably doing more than most patrol guys do. So I don't think the senior guys liked us.
Was that to get off of patrol, or that was just embedded in your makeup?
At that point, I think it was too, patrol really wasn't what we're here for, I guess. I respect patrol, by the way, man.
Yeah.
Because it's a pain, man.
It's hard.
Yeah. And somebody's got to answer 911 calls.
Yeah.
Everybody can't be running around, chasing guns and drugs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like the meat and potatoes department are the sleds, which is patrol. So I respected those guys, man. I did. And I think there was some guys that would just park their patrol car for hours. I don't know if I respected that so much.
Sure.
But I understood it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't my thing,
Okay.
To sit there and play PSP in between jobs. It just wasn't my thing, man. I'm not, if it's your thing, it's your thing. Right. Everybody's thing is different.
Yeah.
And I want to play on that a little bit too, man, because I think on that job, a lot of people try to make your thing everybody's thing. Just let your thing be your thing and let their thing be their thing. And I made that mistake too,
Go into that a little more.
It's like you get called a zero, like stuff like that, like bad names, man. And at the end of the day, they're going to 911 calls and putting their life on the line. Just they're one domestic away from maybe not going home that night.
That's right.
In between the PSP. So you got to look at it like that. And in the beginning, I didn't look at it like that. And then I'm going to admit a lot of stuff I did wrong. A lot of stuff I'm going to say today, I did wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say I'm holier than thou and I did it the right way. I was just trying to do it the way I thought was right at the time. And try. At that point, I was trying to move up a little bit. Because I felt like I wanted to be out there, looking for guns, looking for the illegal guns. We had a lot of gangs in the 2-3. Yep. There was shootings, and I felt like that was what I wanted to do.
Right. So you went from patrol to where?
There was a couple things. They put us in Tracer, which was glorified impact, and Conditions, which was another glorified impact. We were in uniform, rolling in a van, doing impact basically stood on foot posts, writing summons. But you're not answering the radio runs. You know what I mean?
Right.
You would back guys up or whatever, but you're not really listening to 911 calls, except for the people calling for help or 1013s or stuff like that. But when our job wasn't to answer radio runs. Well, sometimes we, holidays and stuff when they're rolling skeleton squad, we'd be in patrol cars, but it wasn't our main thing. But we were in uniform, and then at some point, we got, I guess, a couple of the crime guys, the 4 to 12 crime guys, I don't know if they moved on, and Sergeant Joe Roman picked a couple of us to be there, me and Puello, to join crime, man. And I was happy about it.
Yeah.
I respected those guys, I respected Joe, had a lot of time on the job, came from 4-4, he did patrol for a long time, put his time in, He got some hate too. Everybody gets hate, and that's another part of the problem with that job, man. There's too much hate going on. When guys are just trying to just do their jobs, man, how they think they should do them.
Yeah.
Now,
you were a hard charger. With being a hard charger, that comes with a lot of interaction with people. It comes with a lot of hours, potentially burnout.
Yeah.
You look great in your career and being at work. What was going on behind the scenes? What was going on once you took that uniform off?
All right. So my whole life, I dealt with struggle the wrong way. No matter what it was. Like I've never felt comfortable in social situations. I'm gonna admit that. So from like the time I was 16, I'm not saying like I would use like alcohol. Like I showed up a party, I feel uncomfortable, so I drink 3 beers, and that's how I dealt with it. So like I get to NYPD, and that's the entire culture, man. You know what I mean?
I do.
So like you try not to think about what could have happened, right? Even though you know what could have happened, right? Chase guy has a gun on him, dumps the gun, whatever. Arrest happens. It could have went the other way. It went the other way for a lot of guys. And the thing was, you went to the bar, whatever they call it, 4 to 4.
4 to 4.
You know, and you spend time at the bar laughing it off. You know what I mean? Because we didn't. I think military guys were built that way too.
When you say 4 to 4, help the listeners.
All right, so whoever was it on law enforcement, so 4 to 12 is your tour. So if you get off on time, you spend the last call in New York City is 4 a.m. So you spend the next 4 hours in your bar, and then you go home, and then you do it all over again. And at the end of the day, it's the worst thing to do, but it's the entire culture. At least, I don't know how it is now, been out a long time, but I imagine it's still part of the culture. But when I was there, it was the entire culture, man.
Yeah, it's big.
So I'm going to try to transition to mental health a little bit, because you're not dealing with anything, man. You're just laughing it off and getting drunk, you know? You're just pushing it down. Even on patrol, you see a lot, man. Things that other people don't see. So I forget the numbers. I've heard it on other podcasts. So most people's lives, right? They have 5 life-changing events where they see something that will stick with them forever.
Yeah.
Cops have about 200. And that's on the low side, because probably if you're working at 2-3 for 20 years and you work Sector Charlie, you see a lot more. Mo Rosales, Sector Charlie, right? I mean, you're just going to see everything. You know what I mean? Stuff that other people can't fathom. You know what I mean? So even in Impact, like the stuff that I saw sticks with me forever. I could see it in my mind. And I didn't think about it until later, that how it does. So I remember being on a post with Chambers. We're up on Lexington Avenue. And I think it was a couple blocks away from the first projects there. I remember, I'm going to forget the project names. Might have been Clinton or whatever. The ones on Lex.
110?
No, before 110.
Before 110. Well, you have Clinton runs from, what is it, like 108?
Yeah, it might have been there.
Yeah, Clinton runs up to 110 as well.
All right, so we're on post. We hear the gunshots. That's how close we are.
This episode of Purpose Over Pension is sponsored by Keys for Heroes, founded by NYPD Sergeant and Loan Officer Malcolm Marcel. Malcolm's mission is simple: help first responders become homeowners with straight answers, white glove service, and special programs like the Community Heroes Lender Credit, where you get up to $3,000 back at closing. If you've been thinking about buying a home, refinancing, or seeing where you stand, text the word PURPOSE to 631-817-HOME. That's 631-817-4663. Keys for Heroes, helping first responders get the keys they deserve.
So we start running towards the gunshots, right? We get to the scene. There's 2 people shot. Kid in the middle of the street, and 2 Impact kids are helping him. And then I forget. I'll give him a street name, Cash. He's 19 years old. He's shot in the chest. He's in the back of the project, shot in the chest, right? Has a sunken chest wound, so he's drowning in his own blood. I think it was Charlie, who's right on scene there too, because he comes running out, or whatever. And he's trying to get a final declaration. Like, who shot you? Who shot you? Because Charlie knows.
Right.
He's been around long enough to know the kid's going to go out the picture, right?
Yeah.
And there's actually a gentleman there from the project that's holding the kid, doesn't even know him. You know, he's like, stay with me, stay with me. Charlie's trying to get the dying declaration. So if you don't know what that is in law, it's if he says whoever shot me, shot him, even though he passes away, that's his testimony. It's good in court.
Right.
It's
Because
not.
they're normally not going to lie when they're about to die.
Yeah, and it's not hearsay because
Right.
it's one of the things you're allowed to say secondhanded. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But he was drowning in his own blood, so he couldn't talk. So, the kid in the street lives, and I forget. I think it was P.O. Vargas. I want to get the name that actually put the pressure on the leg for the kid to live, which it was something I might not have done. I'm gonna admit that. But he did, and the other kid passed away, and you kind of at the time you're like they're game members and that's the game, right? But they're still kids, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And when you look back at it, it's still a 19-year-old kid, drowning in his own blood. I know they played the game out there, man. I know it's part of the game. And the game was there before us, it'll be there after us. Nothing, I don't think there's much we could do about that except try to stop it before it happens, which is what we were trying to do. Try to grab the gun before it happens. Try to stop the guys with the guns before it happens. So I would always, on 412 Crime, I would try to remember all the gang members. Because everybody out there, kind of dresses the same style. So if you don't know the players, you don't know who to stop.
Right.
So I would always look at the pedigrees, make sure I knew the street names, make sure I knew what I was looking at. Like I wasn't just randomly and I would know that group of the gang. That's the gang right there. You know.
Now this was when you were in the tracer unit, or
no? This is before that. So, but I mean, as my career
before that.
This was I think when we were on post, this was Impact when that kid got killed. Cash and so you just go out and you finish your tour. I remember somebody wasn't that nice to me on that scene. I'm not gonna drop names, so it doesn't matter. So, because I was new, so I was involved in having to secure some stuff.
Yeah.
And I found bloody rag up in the staircase, and I got laughed at. Whatever, man.
Okay. So you went from tracer. From tracer, you went where?
I think crime.
You went to crime.
Yeah, I can't remember the timelines exactly, man. Okay. When we went to patrol and then crime, but we might have went to crime after patrol. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the order. Okay. If it was tracer to patrol, then crime. I'm not sure.
Right. All right. The thing that I want to get back to is you said that at one point you were in a unit in the precinct and then you wound up going back to patrol.
Yeah. So what happened is I passed the sergeant. And I got pushback for this, man. And at that time, I'll admit it, I was getting burnt out, man, on the crime thing.
Why were you getting burnt out?
Because I didn't agree with everything, When
you say you didn't agree with?
I didn't agree with 250 people unless it was a real 250. I didn't. I never did.
I agree.
Especially when we were doing they would have us do burglary tours, so we're out there during the day. And gang members ain't even out there, man. I didn't mind stopping the groups of gangs.
Yeah, because it's legit.
Yeah, and once somebody, I don't know if people know this, once you get arrested for a firearm or shooting, you're always a good stop.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. If they're recidivists, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
It's a good stop and talk.
Right.
It's not an automatic.
It's not automatic.
It's not an automatic frisk.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I knew that you could stop and talk.
You can stop it, and they cannot talk to you.
Okay. I thought you were saying it was an automatic frisk.
No.
Okay, gotcha.
But it's the common law the inquiry thing. We got what's up? What you guys up to? You're allowed to do that. Legally, you're allowed to.
What did that do for you when you knew that you didn't want to frisk these people? You knew that it was daytime. You weren't dealing with gang members. It was just maybe Joe Schmo drinking on the corner, 50, 60 years old. What did that do for your emotions and for your mental state?
Man, you try to justify it somehow, but in the end, you kind of know, man.
Just feel it.
Yeah.
Feel it.
There's working people out there just having a beer, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Some guys, and the problem is if it's part of the job, and if you feel it, you feel it, it's okay. I think there's guys that numb it out, and that's a problem.
Right. For me, my way of dealing with it was I felt like I left everything in my locker. I wasn't a big drinker. But I was always like, all right, I'm going to make sure that I leave. When I hang up this uniform, I'm going to make sure that I leave it in the locker.
Yeah.
That's what I thought I was doing. But in reality, I wasn't.
Nah.
I had my own ways of coping with it.
Yeah. So, well, how'd you cope with it, man? I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah, my way that I cope with it was forms of pornography.
Okay.
I watch pornography.
Dopamine rush?
Yeah, dopamine rush. That was one of the things. And even though a lot of people consider addiction to be something that's just like uncontrollable or something you have to do every day or a certain amount of times, but if you are running to that thing as a coping mechanism, it's an addiction.
Yeah.
So that was one way. Another way was just vegging out, watching TV, playing video games.
Yep.
I'll come home, play Halo for hours at a time.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
Use that as an out. Yeah, man.
Yeah. That was a big way that I got out of it. And then it did come to the point where I would go partying. You know, it wasn't often, but when I did party, I drank because I didn't want to remember a lot of the stuff that I dealt with, or a lot of my anger would reflect in my relationship.
Okay.
So I feel like the way that I coped also was by seeking the approval and seeking the sympathy from my now wife, my girlfriend back then. And if I didn't receive that, there was a lot of anger that came as a result.
Gotcha.
I was expecting for her to be able to heal me.
Yeah.
When I needed to heal myself. And the way that I needed to heal myself was to find out how God could heal me.
Yeah, man.
That was it for me.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna go back to the culture a little bit and how dealing with stuff the right way is so unaccepted. So if I say something heavy happens, man, because I went back to patrol because I took the sergeant's test and passed it.
Yeah.
So I didn't do a lot of patrol, and I'm like, I'm leaving crime. I didn't get thrown out of crime. I said, I want to go to patrol. And like all the way up to the CO was looking at me like, really?
But they didn't understand that you wanted to get off a crime so that you
I told them
why did you want to get off a crime? I know why you wanted to get out of crime. But
part of it was the burnout. I didn't use that. I didn't say that.
Of course not, because they would think that.
Yeah. Second part was I wanted to go learn patrol. Because I'm about to go have to teach guys, have to show up to jobs and be the leader. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I'm
That's
like,
honorable.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you're going to do your job, do it right. That's how I've always felt like that, man.
Yeah.
No matter what you do it right.
Right.
I don't care if you're sweeping floors, do it right, man.
Yeah.
Like everything, to me, as my life has gone on now, especially after I went through struggle, I used to think it mattered what you did for a living. It does not. It matters how you do it.
That's right.
But it took me a long time. I'm talking 40 years of my life before I started to get that mentality.
What clicked?
When I went through my own struggle. But I just want to go back to the patrol thing because it was important to me.
Okay.
So I go to 4 to 12 patrol. They let me pick my tour. They didn't like do nothing mean to me, like, because I wanted to.
It wasn't
leave.
Like retaliation.
Yeah, they didn't retaliate. They let me pick what I wanted to do.
Good.
So I said I want to work 4 to 12s because I'm not a morning guy. I just never was. I'm more of like a late. To this day, I'm like that, like a night brain, whatever they call it. So they let me go 4 to 12. I wound up going to C2. And I wound up with younger guys. Like the whole, besides from Crawley and Silva, who had more time than me. And I didn't have a lot of time, bro, at this point. I don't know what I got. 6, 7 years. I forget the time I had. I'm not nowhere near what they call like old dog on the job. But the job was turning over and there was a lot of young. And them guys kind of like followed me, man. Like looked up to me. And so I try to be a leader, Yeah. And that's where I got a lot of pushback. Yeah, so I go to patrol. They were nice enough to let me pick. They didn't let me pick my squad, I don't think, but they let me pick the tour. And like I said, they had an opening in C2. So I go to C2, and I believe it was a rookie sergeant. I forget his name. And a lot of young guys, man. Like Scucciarini, Bellinger, O'Brien. I'm not going to remember everybody's name. Yeah. I'm going to feel bad.
I got the gist of it.
Yeah, so when I get there, I didn't realize, but these guys, I guess, had like a little bit of respect for me. So when I talked, they'd listen. And I realized that pretty early, that my word mattered. So I'm not a sergeant, but I'm like a de facto leader.
Right.
So when things were going the way that didn't like they were picking on one of our guys, or you know what I mean? Like the brass, or the upper guy, the higher ranking guys were messing with one of our guys. I was like, we gotta do. All right, man. Like, so, it's illegal to shut it down.
Right.
So I would say, like whatever. They say go out and get, like they were messing with us and they were like, go out and get 2 seatbelts today. I said, we getting 0 seatbelts. And they held strong, man.
Down to it.
Yeah. And I said, we're gonna get pushback. I said, just remember, you gotta be cool with the pushback. Because there's a lot of guys that do that and then they're not cool with the pushback.
Right.
So if you do stuff like that on the NYPD, you get labeled a boss fighter or whatever they call it, ringleader. You get, you get labeled. You get labeled, and the lieutenants and higher gotta answer up to the borough and the numbers. So they're like, all right, why these guys ain't doing this? And they're like, it's Paglione, And
so they actually threw you under the bus.
No, not them. The
bosses.
The bosses.
What I'm saying. Yeah.
The bosses figured it out.
Right.
And I guess the 4-12 lieutenant never really liked me, even though I respected him. So
yeah, I remember who that is.
Yeah. So he never really liked me, man, since day one. It's just one of those things, man. Not everybody's gonna like you, and you gotta be cool with that.
Yeah.
And I was cool with it, bro.
Exactly.
Now you gotta be cool with people not liking you in life.
Right. You can't please everybody.
Nah, man.
A friend of mine, he said something he read in a book, and he said that presidential elections, some presidents, they have 48% of people vote for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one that wins could have 51% that vote for him. Not everybody liked him, but he still won, and he still has to move forward and be the president.
Yeah.
He's not worried about the people that didn't vote for him.
No.
He's just worried about what it is that he has to accomplish.
Yeah.
As a president. That's it.
Yeah. So I think some guys might get caught up in that boss pleasing stuff and do stuff that's against what they believe. And
right.
I just wasn't like that, man. Because I didn't want to be that kind of boss.
Right.
I didn't want to be that kind of boss. I took the sergeant's test and I saw enough bosses, and I had a lot of good ones, to know what kind I wanted to be. And it wasn't going to be the one that's going to please the borough. And my career, and I probably would have been on midnights as a sergeant, and I wouldn't have moved anywhere until I took the test and became a lieutenant. But I knew that, and I was cool with it.
Right.
I was cool with it.
Right.
Because I want to go out there and try to show guys that it's not about numbers, man. I mean, numbers are part of it, but it's not everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if your squad's getting pushed on, or they denied a 28 and you felt it was wrong, then don't go out there and write, man. Like stand up for your guys, man. Look out for each other, bro. That's all we got. I'm gonna get into that a lot more too, man.
I agree.
It's not so much like, and I guess at the time, that's another thing about bosses. Like, if it's a boss you respect a lot, and he's kind of like, man, they putting this on me, I don't mind that. I'll go out and get whatever they want.
Right.
I'll do it because I respect that guy and I know he's gonna look out for me. If it's like a shaky boss that I not that I don't respect, because he's a sergeant, I respect the rank, but he's not looking out for us.
Right.
He's just trying to please the people higher than him. You know what I mean? I really wasn't a boss fighter, but there were some bosses I didn't agree with what they were doing, and I try to tell the young guys, this ain't right.
Right.
Especially like handing collars. So I want to go to a specific incident, and I held strong the whole time. And it was me and Alvarez, because there was a point where Alvarez wound up in C2 for a little while. Eddie Arias got in trouble, and Snoo wound up in C2 for a little while. So I really didn't have a partner in C2. So I would drive the bosses a lot, or I don't know. Bedoya I worked with for a little while. Blazer. Like guys, there was guys I worked with for a little while, but I didn't have like a steady partner. You know what I mean? But there was guys I rolled with for like a couple months or whatever.
Sure.
And when Alvarez came, obviously I rolled with him because already had a
the
rapport.
history, yeah.
And then when Aris got in trouble, Snu, I wrote him to whatever they went. I think Alvarez might have went. I don't know where he went. Maybe the Midnights after that, and then Aris went back to Special Ops whenever he got out of the trouble. I don't know what he got in trouble for. Yeah, Aris was another pushback guy too.
That's my guy.
Yeah, man, my guy too, man. So I got pushed back for it. So there's one incident with Alvarez, right? And we get called over to Lex. I think it was across from Carver. I can't remember. There's a bunch of guys like on the corner at the bodega. They ain't doing nothing. They're all gang members. They ain't doing shit. They're just standing there.
Yeah.
They're like sitting on the bar. You remember that bodega, like bars you can sit on?
Yeah.
I'm forgetting.
With the ramp. They have like little ramps.
Yeah, but I forget the block exactly, right? Yeah. So whatever. We don't bother them there, but then they're in the playground in the projects. And the lieutenant at the time, I'm not gonna drop no names. It's somebody that wasn't in the 2-3 for it long. But he was at the time, he was the platoon commander for the 4 to 12. And he worked like, there's several platoon commanders. It's not the one we were talking about before.
Yep.
And he's like, lock all these guys up. I'm like, for what? I know they're all gang members. I know who they are. But I'm like, they ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
But he's like, I saw him do this. I'm like, all right. You saw him do that. Then I'll lock him up. Because you said you saw it. But when it came time to run the paperwork,
he didn't want nothing to do with it.
I didn't see nothing. And all the paperwork said that. Because I said, Lieutenant said he saw this. I didn't see it. Maybe he saw it. Talk to him.
Right.
And that's like FUPA. Like, you don't do that.
Yeah.
So he's on the 61. He's on the Omni form. He's in my memo book. To the point where I won't sign the affidavit.
How did that go?
Not good. So 88, I swear, I'll never forget this. So I'm at roll call, like maybe the next day. And the 88 calls me and goes, the affidavit is not signed. I said, I know, I'm not signing it because Lieutenant saw it. And 88 literally gets mad on the phone. And I'm like, and it was a male ADA, I forget his name. He's mad. I'm like, I was sitting in, I'm about to roll, I'm on my phone, I'm about to roll call. He got me on my cell. And he's like, you're going to say yes to Lieutenant, no to me? I said, yeah. He's a higher ranking member of my department that gave me a lawful order. You're nobody, man.
Yeah.
like I'm not. And he hung up the phone. I didn't say you're nobody, but I'm just like,
yeah.
Like, you don't outrank me. I don't got to say anything to you. I didn't see it. He saw it. Call him. You want his cell phone? The 88 just hung up the phone.
Really?
Because I think they just DP'd it from that point on.
Wow.
But I'll give that lieutenant respect a little bit because obviously I know I'm gonna get pushed back here, right? And he didn't do the traditional pushback. He didn't like write me up or look for stuff to take away vacation days from me. Or
put you on a foot post.
I don't think he put me on a foot post, but he embarrassed me a little bit, but I respected it.
In what way?
So we're standing roll call, and he gives out the assignments, and he has a laundry tag in his hand. And he goes, Paglione, your assignment today is to go get my laundry. So I know what it's about at that point.
Yeah.
But I'd rather that than lose a day.
Yeah.
Then get a CD.
Okay.
Then him start picking on me, like my uniform.
Yeah.
And write me up, I don't know if that's not by the book. But
he trolled you a little bit. It could have gone worse.
He could have hammered me.
Right.
He could have just started picking on me, like, you don't have your whistle, that, and taking all kinds of.
But it was a friendly way for him to kind of get back at you.
Yeah. And there was a couple of times where I stood up to him, and I you know what I think it was? At the end of the day, he respected it. Like there was like a mutual respect there.
Okay.
That's why.
Gotcha.
Because maybe he was like that. He was just, he was just trying to do what he had to do to make the CEO happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're gonna have to tell me who this guy was once we.
I'll tell you later, man. I don't want to drop no names, man.
Nah, not yet.
I think he's retired, and I got no ill will against anybody, man. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? He was doing what he had to do, and I did what I had to do. And it is what it is.
Right.
ADA got mad. Whatever.
Yeah. So tell me about, you are now on patrol. You're waiting to become a sergeant. What goes on from there?
So I'm on patrol waiting to be a sergeant. So I originally hurt my knee. I don't know if you know this, in crime.
How'd you do that?
So there was a shooting in Madison the night before. So we get told to fall out, and go to those buildings. So it was just wild. And I'm gonna tell you how, like, happenstance and how it just happened to be me. So the shooting was like gang related, but it was over Call of Duty, and nobody died.
It was over Call of Duty?
Yeah. So the gang members were playing Call of Duty online.
Unreal.
So somebody said, bring the fire. They come out and then they play Call of Duty outside. Two rival gangs. So somebody gets shot, but it wasn't a deadly shoot.
Wait. So run this back. They're playing Call of Duty online.
Mm-hmm.
Two gangs against each other.
Yeah. Well, there happened to be two gang members in the room. I like in the Call of Duty room or whatever. I don't know Call of Duty. I don't play a lot of video games.
So
they're on the mic talking.
So they're on the mic. These are two rivals from the same neighborhood.
Yeah, talking crap on the mic.
They talk crap on the mic.
And somebody's like,
on the Xbox.
Yeah, or whatever, PlayStation.
And then
somebody says, bring the fire.
They say, bring the fire, but not on Call of Duty.
Outside.
But in person.
All right, so I know we have people listening that aren't cops. So that means bring the guns, come outside.
Wow. So that would be the version of today where you have Instagram and you have Snapchat and you have Facebook and you can send DMs. Instead, this was through Call of Duty.
Yeah. So I guess the rhetoric got to the point where they felt it was the point where, like, nah, man, disrespectful. Yeah. We selling this outside. We selling this for real.
So they wanted to play Call of Duty in the streets.
They did play Call of Duty in the streets. So this is one of the most impactful collars in my life. And I'm going to talk about it because a lot went on with this collar. So we go to the building where it happens. The light is still out. It's early. It's like the beginning of our tour. It's like, I think it happened on Saturday night, so it's a Sunday. So there's not a lot of people out there. You know how, it's kind of quiet still. Sure. And then all of a sudden, three guys come, I think, either walking out the back of the building. Yeah, or walking towards the back of the building. I think walking out the back. And then they realized we're just kind of hanging out at that back door, the crime team. Just kind of. And then three guys walk out. And one of the guys looks like the shooter. So we stop them. So we have three guys stop. One guy has a knife on him. Moncayo stops him. So the only guy faster in my unit than me was Moncayo. So he has a perp and a collar. So the other guy starts running. He's got the guy that looked like the shooter. Has an LA Dodgers jacket on. This I could definitely testify to.
Yeah.
LA Dodgers jacket on, with the white sleeves. Ooh, so now, normally, since Moncayo was a little faster than me, it would be him on the lead on this run. I'm not gonna lie. But since Moncayo got the guy with the knife stop, it's me and Pueblo on the run. And Pueblo ain't that quick. So it's me on the lead. And we go out the projects. We're running up Madison Avenue. And he's trying to get back to the front door. I know what he's doing. So we turn the corner. I think this is 110. And he's trying to get back to the front door. So while he's running, he has his hand in his right pocket in the jacket. And it's heavy. I'm like, that ain't a bag of weed, man. But I can tell what he's doing. He's trying to throw it. But it's stuck in his jacket. Mm-hmm. He's doing this. So I know he's not trying to spin and shoot me.
Right.
Because he could just do that. He's trying to dump the gun and go in the building. So I know I'm running with my gun out. Probably the only time I ever ran with my gun out. Like actually full speed running with my Smith & Wesson in my hand. In plain clothes, sneakers. So it's like a football race with guns, man. My adrenaline's through the roof, man. And I'm catching up to him. I'm gonna catch him. And he cuts between two cars to the street. And I cut too. And then when I make that right cut back towards him, my knee gives out. But I got so much adrenaline in me, I don't feel it, man. Like I feel it, but I don't.
Yeah.
But I'm like right on top of him at that point. So I'm behind him and I grab his, like, almost like the neck part of his jacket. My gun goes right here on him. I hear his gun hit the floor and slide under the car. I said, dude, it's over. It's over. Because it's over. He freezes, man. Because he has a gun on the back. You know, like, and you talk about things that could be bad.
That could have gone bad.
I got, you know, I know the media always looks at everything through that prism. I'm a white guy, and I got black kid shot from behind. If it went different, you know what I'm saying? If it went different, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
But it would have been the right thing to do if he was trying to shoot me.
Right.
If he was trying to turn.
Yeah.
You know, people don't understand this, man. Like, and at the end of the day, I wasn't looking at race, man. I was looking at
There's somebody that was that could have shot.
Yeah, and it was the guy that looked like the shooter from the night before. I've done the job long enough and chasing enough people to know that what he was trying to throw was probably a firearm or a knife because it was so heavy. Because when it's weed, it wouldn't be heavy in the pocket, right? So I catch him, his gun slides under the car, and I have him on the floor, and now I can feel the pain in my knee. And when Kyle was actually the first one to get to me, because I think he hands the other perp with the knife to Puello, because when Kyle realizes something's wrong. And when Kyle gets there, and I'm like, I don't have to recover the gun yet, because it's so quick. I said, yo, his gun's under the car. The gun's under the car. So when Kyle recovers the gun, and I'm like, I'm hurt. And so, you know, you can cuff him up. Now all the projects coming outside. And the mom comes outside, screaming, man, you know. And I just held the gun up, and then she got quiet. So go back to the precinct, start processing the collar and the line of duty injury. Like, I go to the hospital in the middle of it, but I'm processing it. I'm not giving it away. And because I knew I was hurt, but I didn't realize how bad.
Yeah. What was your injury?
I blew my ACL out. Wow. So I didn't know that. I just thought, you know, whatever. They wrapped my knee at the hospital. I go back and finish the collar. You know, I got a live jaw, and I got my knee wrapped. And it happened to be, so this is the true story. He actually talked on and this is back when he used to get 2 years. You know what I mean? You know, I don't know if you get any time anymore. Yeah. But they used to get 2 years automatic on a loaded firearm. Right. What had happened, it was his brother that got into it the night before. And he was on
Call of Duty.
Yeah, the whole shooting thing, he had nothing to do with it.
Okay.
It was his younger brother. Looked like him, but his younger brother. So this not that this guy was, I think he was 21 or 20 or something. Okay. We just happened to have stopped him, that group. You remember them? Like those buildings, they're probably not even there anymore. They had like those weird hallways, like 106, 107 on the other side.
Yeah, when you stood between Madison and Fifth.
Yeah. Okay. He went over there because he was afraid of retaliation to buy a gun to protect him and his mother. I swear, this is the truth. Because he was afraid of the retaliation because his brother was an idiot the night before. So he goes over and buys it. Like, we literally stopped him right after he bought the firearm.
Wow. He
was just trying to bring it home.
Wow.
So they were walking towards us, actually. Now that I think about it. Because he was trying to bring it home. Through the back door. And yeah, so I do the live draw, and my knees wrap with ice. And this was like a very human moment, man. And I'll never forget it. So we're on the live draw with the ADA, and I'm hurt. So the ADA asked I'm not even gonna call him. He's a perp, whatever, but I forget his name. Says, apologize to the officer because he's hurt. So he said, I'm sorry, officer. And I said, thank you for not shooting me. And he said, thank you for not shooting me.
Really?
Yeah, live on the camera.
So you both said?
Yeah, because we both know how bad that could have went. And then when I'm printing him, he's like, I got a 1-year-old daughter. I'm like, man, just you got like whenever
get this up.
Yeah, I don't know how much he was involved, except that he was trying to protect his family. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he was just one of those guys. You know, like when you're talking to guys, you know, like they're too far gone.
Yeah.
Like they're so ingrained in that violence, like that's who they're gonna be, and they don't see outside of it.
Yeah.
This is a guy I can kind of see so outside of it because he like the first thing he said to me was like he was thinking about his daughter, man.
Okay.
Like that his daughter wouldn't have a father.
He was just trying to survive.
Yeah, but he was thinking about if I would have.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that's the only reason he tried to turn and shoot at me, because He just wanted to go home to his daughter. You know what I mean?
Right.
He didn't want her to shoot it out with the cops.
Right. Right.
He wasn't like in that mentality.
So you blew out your knee
Mm-hmm.
over a gun arrest.
Correct.
You blowing out that knee.
Mm-hmm.
What transpired from there as far as your career is concerned?
So I go get the surgery. I wanted to, because, you know, we don't have workers' comp kind of thing, but they let you go wherever you want to go. So I'm actually I get recommended a good knee doctor. It's actually Lennox Hill. He's the Jets knee doctor who I go to.
Wow.
Does the surgery. You know, I do the rehab, trying to come back. And this is where the job screws you up too, man. Like, guys are in my ear, like, you got to hurry up back. They're going to survey you off, you know? And I came back too fast, man. Like, I wasn't ready. Like, I got cleared, but I came back faster than somebody would in the NFL.
Wow.
And I'm a 31-year-old guy with beer belly.
Who were the people that were saying
senior cops?
Senior cops.
They're gonna survey you off. You only get 30% pension.
So at that point, you were more concerned about the pension than your health.
Yeah, and I still believed. I was still having fun, man.
Yeah,
I still felt it was my purpose.
Yeah,
you know, and I didn't want to lose it. So I came back too fast, and I'll never forget it. So the first guy I chased, and I never lost anybody. First guy I chased through the project, he runs on me. And you know those little fences in the project? We go over and he's running through the grass. I'm just running straight. My knee totally gives out.
Oh. Where is this?
Washington House. Just gives out, bro. And now I got rehab back. And then my physical therapy guy, who actually went to Christ the King, was a good guy, man. He was a young guy. And it was like a sports therapy, you know, it was like legit. Like all the athletes went there from Christ the King. He had sneakers from, I think, Lamar Odom. He knew Lamar Odom at the time, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so it was like legit sports. Yeah. Like, he was rehabbing athletes. So it was no willy-nilly rehab.
Right.
Like, it was like work. And I was happy about that, man, because I wanted to work to get back. And I was always trying to do more than I should.
Yeah.
He's like, look, man, it's a process here, man. Like, you only can do this at this point, this at this point. You know, there's a scientific thing here. I don't know if people know that. You can't run for a certain amount of time based on the thing. So, yeah. And there's a couple of things that would have changed. So I actually they actually put like a cadaver ACL in me, which would be for a non-athlete. But like, athletes get it taken from their hamstring because it's stronger. Because they don't put a ligament in, they put a tendon in.
Okay.
Because it's stronger.
Right.
But usually an athlete will get it taken off their own body because it's stronger. But I don't think the doctor was looking at me like an athlete, even though what I was doing out there was athletic, because I was always the runner. What I did that day was football with guns.
You know what? I had a great conversation with my man, Jumpman Jay. What's up, Jay? And he said the same thing. Cops are athletes. And I agree with him wholeheartedly.
Yeah, but what I did was very athletic. And how I got hurt was how athletes get hurt. Yeah. Something I did 1,000 times.
Wow. So where did this place you afterwards? You went to the doctor or you went to rehab? Yeah,
so I'm out, you know, and it was that time where you know, they changed the rules, but I had to be in the house my whole tour.
How about medication?
They gave me some medication for pain, but it wasn't like all the time.
Okay.
And
what was that like, taking the medication? You didn't take it often? Or?
It didn't really work, man. I was in a lot of pain, man.
Wow.
In the beginning, it was more pain than I thought it'd be. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But then the problem wound up being, like, they made you stay in your house during your tour, and you're only allowed out on your, you know, the rules, the old rules.
And what did that do for you mentally?
Not good.
Hard charging cop.
Not good.
Yeah. Sitting
there watching cable news all day.
Yeah.
Just not good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It was not good at all.
Sure.
Drinking. Wow. I had nothing to do. They wouldn't even let you out your house during your tour. You know, remember the rules before they changed them?
Yeah. I remember.
And then you had the fear of God in you. If you leave your house.
If you leave, then you're going to get fired.
Yeah, and then I got to tell my mom that on Christmas and Thanksgiving. I can't come.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because I wasn't my RDO.
Right.
The old rules.
Yeah.
The only time I was allowed out was to go to physical therapy. So I would milk that a little bit.
How much did that mess with you mentally?
I think a lot. And I think that was part of the reason me trying to rush back too. Okay. And then I was on TS for a while. So then I didn't feel so bad. Now I'm back in the precinct. I'm on a TS, you know what I mean? And I still get crap for that. Scammer, why aren't you back in the street, whatever. You know how it is.
So you come back, you're on a TS. Just tell me how this played into the rest of your career, or pretty much like the end of your career.
Well, it wasn't the end because I came back a couple times before the final time. So I got to know the patrol guys better, man. You know, I got to talk to people in the precinct normally wouldn't talk to.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a net negative at all. Yeah. You know, I got to know the bosses a little bit better, you know? So I didn't look at it. I got new ideas from new people.
Okay.
Instead of just my special ops groups.
Right.
So I never looked at it as a net negative. So when I asked to go back to patrol, probably that was part of the reason, like, you know. But this is 2009, so I go back out, I get hurt again, and then I'm out for a little bit while longer. But I'm not getting any more surgery. Like the first one didn't really go well. Like my femur still doesn't sit right. Like
wow.
And like the doctor never would admit it. My physical therapist kept saying like your leg sits a little weird, man, a little off. You know, has a little bit of slack. And like he said it, like a physical therapist.
Right.
You know. So then I come back again, and then I go to patrol. So it's a little less athletic at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm answering radio runs. I'm not chasing many people, but then it's me and Bernard one day, and we're coming up First Ave by Jefferson Park, IRT, 1013, foot pursuit, coming right at us, man, right towards us. Jump out the car, run towards the guy, the perp. Wrestling with him, you know, but he's like stood up. So because I'm not low on him, and like I feel my knee go again, get him down, cuff him. I'm like, but oh man, mess my knee up again. You know, like, whatever, I'll just rehab and come back. In my head, that's what I'm thinking. So I do line of duty and all that. And I never did another tour after that.
So when you say you did the line of duty, you're saying you did the line of duty for that incident.
That incident. Again. Yeah.
So you have 3 line of duty incidents in regards to the same injury.
Correct.
Wow.
But so I was never full. I never did that last moment with Bernard catching that perp that IRT was chasing was my last moment of active police work.
So once you...
So then they put me inside. Okay. And then they put me restricted. And then they shipped me out to the Brooklyn Armament Terminal in Intel. And we weren't Intel, man. We ran the front desk there. So everybody in there was restricted.
Wow. Okay.
And, you know, I even went to the CO at the time because I did a lot of work in the 2-3. It shows how much nobody cares, you know. I'm not saying they didn't care about me, but like at the end of the day, they put you in the restricted pool and you're no good no more. So
you're forgotten about.
Yeah, you're no good no more. Anyway, so they let you in the restricted pool. If anyone doesn't know what that is, like they put up all the cops are restricted go in a pool, and then places that need administrative people, they pull from that pool and you get temporarily assigned.
So here you are, you doing all of this work in the 2-3, getting gun college, pass the sergeant's exam.
Mm-hmm.
You get injured once and you want to get back because you're tired of being home.
Well, I didn't pass the sergeant's test until after the first injury.
Okay.
I passed the sergeant's test, I think, when I was on patrol, right before I went to patrol.
Okay.
And then I got shipped out to the Brooklyn Armament Terminal because I was not full duty fast enough, I guess, for everybody.
But you passed the exam.
Yeah, that was before I went to patrol. I got hurt on patrol. The last time, the final time.
Okay.
So yeah, my knee's not good, man. You know, like I know it gave out on that one pursuit, and then just like that was one of the few people I wrestled with on patrol just by happen chance, and then it buckled again. And I'm like, man, so it's just not right. And then I remember people like saying this is. I'm gonna go into this for a minute about all the lies in the locker room, like because the first lies that I was gonna get surveyed off, I had to rush back, which probably cost me that injury.
So let me ask you this, right? You have these officers that are giving you the wrong advice, misguiding you.
Mm-hmm.
For people that are listening to this, what's the best way to find out the truth? so that you're not worried, so that you're not stressed out, and you can go to somebody that can give you credible guidance to prevent the anxiety on a situation like this, or anything in regards to
honestly, I probably should have talked to the orthopedic or district surgeon and say, hey, like how much time I got to get better, like how much time I got to go full duty before they're gonna put a surgery in.
Right.
Probably a question I should have asked.
Yeah.
Instead of listening to the scare tactics.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Why do you think us as cops do that so much? Why do you think that we
because they got taught that. I think it's like passed down, man. It's like, you know, all that stuff is passed down.
Right.
And then even when I got hurt, and even past that when they made me restricted, they started passing me over for the sergeant's test. You know.
Wow.
And every time they do, they got to put a 49 and put it in my file.
Yeah.
And people like, oh, you just go full duty and become a sergeant. And in my head, I knew better than that. I'm like, but I'm still hurt.
Yeah. So what eventually happened?
So eventually I go to the Brooklyn Armor Terminal and I'm with a bunch other hurt people and some really hurt. And I learned lessons there because there was a guy there, 7'5", patrol, got an R&P accident, thrown out the glass, almost died.
Thrown out the windshield?
Yeah, well, out the car, almost died.
Yeah, but was it from the windshield? Was it?
I don't know, but he almost died. So his ankle was fused. But here's the thing. He believed. He didn't want to leave the job. So he got some doctor to clear him. And they put him in DV so he could stay inside. Because literally, and he kept getting denied. Because
he went back.
He went back. And they were saying he exacerbated it. So if you're hurt, you're hurt, man. And my advice is like, let the medical people figure it out.
Right. But not only that, don't worry about getting back out there for the money.
Yeah, or worry about, or even your career, man. Like, at the end of the day, if you get surveyed off and they don't consider it, you know, accident incident thing, and they only give you 33%, that no was meant to be. It was your time.
Right. So you're there at the terminal.
Mm-hmm.
How long are you there before?
So things start happening really quickly, which is odd because everybody tells you, oh, it's going to take years. And they're passing me over for this. And I'm getting a lot of pushback from that, man. From people about letting them pass me over to be a boss.
So these are the cops that are telling you?
Yeah, and some of them I respect, some of them are friends because, you know, like, damn, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, what the... And like, you know, like, when you go to the medical district, like, they usually just kind of put you back.
Yeah.
As soon as they can.
Right.
Like, I never got that. Like, I never got pushback. Wow. Even from the orthopedic that was supposed to be the hammer that put everybody back. Because I was hurt, and he knew it. He knew my knee wasn't stable.
Right.
And so he never gave me a hard time. I never walked in there with crutches and like guys come in like neck braces, like try to. I was just like, and he would check my knee, and at one point, I go there. They keep passing me up, right? I go to the orthopedic. I think I had to go once a month. Like district surgeon, I started with district surgeon too. They make you do all that. District surgeon maybe twice a month, orthopedic once a month. I forget exactly what it was, but you know, they make you do that. So I go to the orthopedic, and he kind of, I don't know him because he doesn't really talk. And he's like, "You're not going to get any better than you are right now,
wow,
unless you have another surgery." So I was like, "What does that mean?" And he goes, "Go downstairs." That's Article 2.
What does Article 2 mean?
Article 2, I could have let him fill out the paperwork. I could have waited. So when they hit a magic time number, I was getting close to it, I guess. The district surgeon or the orthopedic will fill out a form putting you in the Article 2 that you're not, that you're hurt to the point where you possibly have to get medically reviewed to leave the job.
Okay.
So he basically said, one of the first times he actually talked to me, like we were actually speaking, was he kind of said, "Go downstairs, man." So I went downstairs, and the wild part of it was, of all the paperwork they make you fill out on the NYPD. So I'm kind of like pulling back the mask here a little bit on the job. It's one piece of paper, man.
Really?
Yeah.
So the one, just to get this clear, Article 2 is so that they could begin the review process for
Yeah.
3 quarters.
Yeah, or survey, or whatever, you know, because
Okay.
accident incident matters.
Got you.
So,
So it could be either one,
Yeah,
survey,
and
3 quarters.
yeah,
But that's when they start the investigation. They start their research.
yeah, and then
Gotcha.
if they realize you're good enough to come back, you come back.
Yeah.
They put you back full duty. You know what I mean? Which I thought was going to be my future.
Okay.
I thought whenever they do the medical review, they're gonna put me back. I'm gonna go BMOC and be a sergeant.
So what winds up happening?
So what ends up happening is all the lies on the NYPD were lies. There's people telling me you need to blow out both knees, you need to blow out your knee twice, just all craziness.
Yeah.
And a big part of it was so people don't notice about that. They wait till your treatment's over. So you can extend it by getting more surgery. But my first surgery really didn't go right. And I did some research on ACL, and they said your first surgery, you got 90%. This going back so it might be better now. You know, as time goes on, medical just keeps getting better.
Right.
This is 2000, whatever it was when I got hurt. When I had the surgery, it was 2009. It was a long time ago. So they do that whole review. So I'm losing my train of thought, man. Sorry.
No, my original question was, they start with the survey.
Yeah.
And then what winds up happening?
So it all happens quickly. So
not with the survey, with the
it's
Article 2.
Yeah, it's all surveys. The same thing.
Yeah, okay,
it's one piece of paper. Either
Yeah.
medical people fill it out or you fill it out.
Right.
Which blew my mind.
Yeah.
So basically, it's one piece of paper, your pedigree, where you work, and then a paragraph, a 61, handwritten. And there's a lawyer there, a PBA lawyer, and he says it's one line. It's I'm no longer physically able to be a full duty police officer. All you write on there.
Wow.
And all the crap they make you fill out.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Article 2 is not the job.
Who is it?
The city. Yeah.
Mm.
So it's completely different. So everybody, besides the union lawyers that have an office there, everybody on that floor is a civilian.
Gotcha. So now tell me about.
And it's just one or two floors down from your normal medical left rack.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So tell me how things proceed from there, the ultimate decision.
So things proceed from there. I'm thinking this is going to be a long process.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I'm going to get to be a sergeant. And my life's going to go on. But I'm not going to I'm not going to lie and say, yeah, I'm good to go. Because the doctors keep telling me I'm not good to go.
Right.
But other guys were saying, just say you're good to go. Go find a doctor to sign off on it. Right. But I was why would I do that? And then I went to a pension seminar, and I spoke to the guy that was leading it. He used to run the pension section. I think he was a retired DI. I went up and spoke to him after and I explained my situation. And he said, don't feel bad, man. People are going to make you feel bad.
Mm.
But a lot of people fought very hard that if you leave your tour not as good as you came in, they fought very hard for that protection. Mm. So no, don't ever feel bad.
Wow.
Don't ever feel bad you got hurt. Don't ever feel bad about the people that are calling you scammer. Don't feel bad about any of that. Because a lot of union guys work very hard to get you guys that protection.
Wow.
Very well said. So respect it.
Very well said.
I swear that's what he said to me.
Yeah. No, that's great.
So it made me feel better.
Okay.
But I knew there was a dice roll here.
Right.
But it is what it is.
Yeah. So tell me ultimately how you were notified that you were no longer.
So you wait. They make you run around and get all the paperwork.
Yeah.
And that was a whole issue too.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't find my original line of paperwork, right. But I had copies of everything.
Right.
So basically, I had to go. All the bosses were still on the job. I had to go get my copies re-signed. Then I hand them to the nurse. Everything, every doctor visit, every hospital. It's like this.
Yeah.
And you give it to a nurse, the civilians that work there.
Right.
And I don't know. I thought it gets reviewed. All this is a checkbox, man. So the nurses make sure you have all the paperwork. And if you're missing something, they let you know. And then they kind of ask you, you're going to get another surgery? You're going to go through any more physical therapy? And I'm like, no. So at that point, I forget the decisions, but one of them's deferred. So if you're gonna get more medical stuff done to try to come back, which means another surgery, they'll defer it.
Okay.
They'll give you extra time.
Yeah.
To try to get better.
Yeah.
But I was like 100% on no more surgery because, like I was explaining before, doing my research, 80-90% you come back 100% off your first ACL, it drops to 50% on the second one.
Wow.
So like I'm in my head, I'm like, I'm in pain, I can't run, but I'm not walking with a cane or anything, so I don't want to like start going down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
You know? So I'll let them say if it's good enough, it's good enough. So then they call you, then you gotta wait and you get a board date. Yeah. So I don't know if anybody knows what that is. But you get a board date, which means you get medically reviewed by independent doctors. And that was a bug out to me too, because I thought it was like this conference room.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like that.
It's never like what you think it is.
Nah, so I go and I sit in that day I get my board date, whatever, I forget how much time it took. It wasn't that much. And I get my board date and I go and I sit with the lawyers in a little office. I mean, it's like small in this. And there's the PBA, DEA, each representative is there. And then they kind of tell you, the lawyer straight over me, he goes, look, man, I don't know what's gonna happen when you go in there, but I'll tell you this. They don't care if you're in pain. They don't care if you can't sleep at night. They only care if your knee is stable or not, and if you're a liability.
Wow.
So I believe you're an athlete, right?
Yes.
Okay. You know what the Lachman test is?
The Lachman test?
It's like when a guy gets hurt on the field and they kind of do that.
See if you could push or like.
But they do it. They try to see if your knee is stable or not.
Yes. I didn't know the name of it. But
I think it's called the Lachman test. So at that point, they know if your ACL has an endpoint or not. So pretty much before the MRI, when you get hurt on the field, most football, we play lacrosse. Most football, lacrosse, they know right there that at least the ACL is gone. Right there on the field, they know.
Right.
So when the first time I went to see the doctor in Lenox Hill, before the MRI, he did the test and he goes, you don't have an ACL. I said, like a running back? He's like, yeah. Wow. That's the first time I know I was really hurt.
Yeah.
Just before all that.
Yeah.
So when we go in there, so the unit guy tells me, they don't care if you're in pain. They don't care about any of that. They would just want to know if your knee's stable enough to run and if you could be a liability. Because now the job knows that you're hurt and say they put me back with a bad ACL, right? And I go out there and in an important situation, either lifting somebody up on an aided or trying to help somebody.
Yeah.
And it gives out, the city's on the hook. They're like, you put this guy back. Like, say somebody gets hurt or killed, or even I get killed, or my partner gets killed. They're like, well, you knew he was no good. What are you doing? Right. Like, if they don't know, they don't care.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know.
Right.
But once they know, it becomes that CYA stuff. So that's why the lawyer kind of said they don't care about the pain and all that. But when I went in there, this, it was just left rack. I thought it was going to be this big thing. You walk down the hallway. So a doctor comes and gets you, and he's watching you the whole time. So your minutes start the minute the doctor comes to get you, because they do this thing called minutes, which they write the whole report up.
Okay.
So this is another, I'm going to pull this back too. I didn't know this. Nobody reviews your case till that morning.
Wow.
So basically.
So it's not like they're looking at it ahead of time.
No.
To that morning, they open up that file.
So basically, if there's I think there's 3 or 4 doctors that day, and 3 or 4 people that are ready to go, they just kind of pass them around.
Wow.
And they start reading them while you're sitting in the lawyer's office.
So it's almost like when you go sick.
Yeah, so they're reading your case, and then they bring you in for the interview. So now, left rack, you're in like that small room with those glass windows, little office. And I'm just sitting like how we're sitting now. They're right there. And they were only interested in the original. They didn't care about the second and third. They're talking about.
Why just the first?
I don't know. Because that was the main injury where the ACL actually tore.
Got you. That was the initial one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the one they're asking me about. I told them the story I just told you. And they're all into it, man. They're listening to it. Like, we're into it.
So you gave them the whole gun run story?
Yeah. Wow. And they're listening. Like, wow. Like, I guess they don't hear a lot of stories like that. Like, not every story is like that.
Right.
But then they bring you in the exam room, and I remember, and then they gave me the test. And they don't tell you nothing. They're not talking to you. Like, besides the interview, when they do the medical part, They bring you in another room that has like a medical table.
Yeah.
And they do the Lachman test. And 2 of them try it, which is weird because the union guy said there's going to be only one orthopedic there, but that's neither here or there. And then they whisper to each other because I guess they can't find an endpoint. But I don't know that. I don't know what's going on. So you leave there not knowing anything. So you leave there like not knowing anything, and then they tell you, at noon, call a number, and then they give you an answer. So you call a number, and they say, you're approved for they can't say accident disability. I don't think. Yeah, they can, but the medical decision is the final decision on the pension part. You're approved for accident disability at noon. So at noon, I call that number, they give me that answer. And now basically you're waiting just for the pension board, which decides the legality of it on what your pension's going to look like. Was it really accident? Was it an incident? So then now they really dig through the paperwork because now they're talking about money. And that you don't go to that. Only the lawyers go to that.
Wow.
Because they're going to dig through everything. So if they can find it out, they're going to take it.
This is really good because I've never known how the 3/4 process works.
Yeah, so basically,
I don't think most people do.
So the medical guys are doctors. So they're going to be like, well, he got hurt fighting with a guy with a gun. And then it goes to the pension board looking at the houses. What are we going to give him? 3/4 of 33% because I had less than 10 years on. Or 50% if I had more. You know what I mean?
So it's either 30, 50, or
33,
3/4.
33, 50, or 3/4. Depending how much time you have on the job.
Okay.
So
and you said you had how many years at this time? 5, you said?
No, I'm around 8 something.
Around 8.
Okay. 8 change. But this all happened quickly, man. This is happening very quickly in time.
Yeah.
Talking about time.
Right.
So from the time the medical board calls me, you get a couple weeks, get your minutes. But like it's moving quick. Like people say, you know, they could take a year to call you, but this is happening fast. And so the moment they say that, I call at noon, I know I'm never going to be a cop again. Because I'm not.
Where were you when you made that call?
So Left Rack is near my house. I lived up the hill from Left Rack. Like if you walk up towards Mass Path, like a Middle Village.
Yeah.
But I got married in that church on the corner right there, Elliott, Woodhaven, right by the mall.
Oh, okay.
I lived across the street, the mall, up the hill a little bit.
Gotcha.
But like walking distance to Left Rack.
Wow.
I made that call from a cell phone at the mall because I was going to go get something to eat before I went home.
How'd you feel?
Like, I don't know, man. Like conflicted. Like, damn.
Most people, when they get notification that they get in 3/4, it's almost like they feel that they've hit the jackpot. Or the perception is that NYPD officers that get 3/4, they hit the jackpot. What do you think about that mentality?
It's definitely not a jackpot, man. And I'm not gonna say it all depends where you are in your life, where you are in your head. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't ready, I don't think, to leave yet.
How old were you?
36. So like I guess I was kind of looking forward to being a sergeant. You know, I passed the test, go lead some people, you know, tell people the right way, do some stuff.
I mean, it sounds like you were very devoted to your craft. You being willing to leave a unit in your precinct that was very respected to go back to patrol so that you could learn to be a sergeant.
Yeah, because I just wanted to be a good boss.
Right, but the point that I'm getting at is that you were devoted to this.
Yeah.
And then you get injured.
Mm-hmm.
So I could only think of how discouraging this was for you with you being devoted to your job.
Yeah, and then every time I went to go to a district surgeon, I could see every 49. They had the right one once a month. They would be my 1PP would have to contact the medical division because the medical division is technically not uniform. And the medical physician would have to write a 49. No, they would have to tell him, no, he's no good yet. They would write the 49 from 1PP and put it in my file. Wow. So they would constantly asking my district surgeon and the orthopedic. So I could see that stack month. You know what I mean? I could see it in my file.
Wow. So you get 3/4.
Yeah. So at that moment, so by the time I went to the medical board, now I'm stressed because whatever decision they make now, unless he's good enough to go back, it's going to affect my life pretty bad. You know what I mean? So they could have just said, when I called at noon, there's nothing wrong with him, put him back.
Right.
That could have been the decision.
Right.
And I would have just went to BMOC. I wasn't going to fight it anymore.
Yeah. I
just let them, the medical thing, do what they do. And I was going to accept what they said. I wasn't going to do the whole fight it, go 3 times. I wasn't.
Right.
And they didn't say that. So now it's stressful. Because now I talked to the union lawyer again. And I did talk to that pension seminar again. And the union lawyer said, look, man, I could tell you 95% you're all right. But the only people I could tell 100% is if they have a stent in their heart that you're going to get accident disability. Because of paperwork issues.
Yeah.
How the line of duty was written.
Yeah. So just bring me to the point where you actually get the approval for it. And
like the approval from the pension board?
Yeah. Like the finalized moment. This
right,
is it.
This is
you're 100% good to go. And then boom.
The weirdest day of my life.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Because once the pension board, whatever decision they make, accident, incident, whatever it is, you can no longer enter a police facility as a police officer.
Wow.
So
wait. You would be retired. You'd be considered retired, right?
At that moment.
Okay.
You're not officially retired, but you're no longer allowed to enter.
All right, go ahead.
As a police officer. So I'm no longer allowed to go to my post at the Booker Armored Terminal and do a tour.
Wow.
So the weirdest thing was, because I lived in the 5 boroughs.
Yeah.
So they give you a date. They tell you, I think they let you run the time at home. Like you home.
Okay.
And then they give you a date to go down to the pension section. So this is like the last time you enter a police facility as a police officer is 1 PP. But you go straight to the ID and they give you a different ID.
Yeah.
So I go to the pension place and they do the paperwork, Broadway. It's like it's just like a regular day of court. I'm just doing something different. Like in my head, that's what it felt like.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, I'll tell you to the point why it was really surreal. Because I didn't have to vouch for nothing because I lived in the 5 boroughs. So I go do the pension thing. Then they send me to get the ID. They take my ID and my shield. You want the picture on the pillow. They give me my retired ID. I walk out of 1 PP with a retired ID and a firearm. And I go meet Eddie's narco team for lunch. And I sit down, table, narco team, me. I say I'm retired. And they're like, what? And I flipped the ID on the table. But it was just like going lunch for a court tour. But I never come back.
But they told you that same day you had to come down, or how did that work?
No, they make you stay home.
They make you stay home. And then they give you a day.
And they run time, yeah.
They run time. And
then they give you a day, and then if you got more time after, they run it.
Okay.
So I think I had, they don't let you take like the vest, the 10, they don't let you take the money. Like they make you run it.
Okay.
So like you build up, what they call it, the vested time.
Yeah.
So I had about a half a career, so I had like 10 days.
Okay.
So they made me sit home and run it. You know what I did? I was so scared of the job, I didn't leave my house, bro.
You didn't even leave?
Nah. Until the midnight on Halloween. I got a picture of it on my phone. I took a picture of the moment.
So you get there with the narco guys, and you tell them you're retired.
Yeah, like joking around. I'm like, I'm serious, bro. Because I still had my firearm. Like if you're out of living Long Island or Westchester, they make you vouch your firearm. So like, there's more of a feel there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But actually, and the guy in the firearm section. Never even made, like they didn't even check the numbers. Never even made me take it out the holster.
What did that feel like? I know with me and me leaving in the process, it was a little too seamless, and it didn't have that same impact or feel that I thought it would. And it seems like you're describing the same thing.
Yeah. So,
It was-
and then I realized this is pulling the mask back a little bit too, man. So they made me. There was one time I was allowed to enter a police facility again, and that was I had to go back to my permanent command to have the CO sign off on my equipment voucher, which means I turned everything in. So I go there, I deal with a sergeant I know. I haven't been in 2-3 in a long time. I'm taking pictures of the roster just to save. Like I took my last sign out at the back, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like stuff. I'm like just documenting with my phone.
Yeah.
You know? And then it just made me realize like they make you like they drive you nuts about this equipment your whole career, right? I don't know how it went for you, but it was like so nonchalant, just threw it in the garbage bag.
Yeah.
Like this stuff that you carried and like you were afraid you were gonna lose vacation days for. They didn't care, man.
I walked out of the precinct, and I made a post about this. I walked out of the precinct with a black garbage bag.
No, that was it. And then I emptied my locker.
And that was it.
That was it. I gave my jacket to somebody that wanted it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
gave my traffic vest to somebody else.
I had my whole career in that bag.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow.
But even in the admin office, this is like taking everything and just throwing it in the,
Yeah.
They didn't care.
But what about your shield?
Oh yeah.
Same thing.
Same thing. Yeah.
Same thing.
Just take it. Like,
right.
Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, you want a picture?" And she just kind of tossed it aside.
Yeah, and then it's like, "Oh, you want to take a picture with the pillow? Do this." You take the picture.
I know they got like a backdrop. No, they had none of that when I was there.
Yeah, you would think that it would be so much more fulfilling, but it really isn't.
No, and it was just real weird.
Yeah, and I don't think people understand that. I think that people think that they're gonna feel this magical feeling and happiness, and I'm not saying that you can't. There are some people that had a very rewarding career, but I think that people expect this level of euphoria that for me it just wasn't there. Maybe because of the way that I left, and maybe the same thing for you.
Yeah, it was real surreal. But I'm gonna tell you another life event that happened that altered the whole thing. So now, I'm telling my wife, I was like, we probably gotta leave New York City, find a place that's a little more affordable to live, and I never bought anything in New York because I always planned on leaving New York.
Really?
So I always rented because I didn't want to live in New York my whole life.
Okay.
It's just, and then my wife didn't either.
Yeah.
So we were on the same page on that.
Okay.
So I basically picked 3 states. She said more people will come visit us in Florida. So this is how this starts to play out. Where we were gonna go to, you know what I mean? But the life altering event, besides I had one life altering event, 8 days later my dad passed away suddenly.
Wow.
So I lost my career with my dad.
This is 8 days.
Yeah.
After you.
So midnight on Halloween, I'm no longer a cop, officially. Off the books.
Wow.
And November 8th, my dad passed away.
Wow.
In his sleep. So, and I didn't deal with any of this the right way.
How did you deal with it?
Drank. Just sat there in my house. I didn't have a job to go to. I had to do. And I was like, I didn't know how to grieve that. Not the first loss I had, but big one. But that was only 60, you know?
Yeah, but everybody makes it seem that you don't have to work and you're getting this money, so you should be good.
But you need to do something. Not that I made being a cop my whole identity, but like I lost it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, what am I?
Yeah.
I'm 36-year-old sitting on a couch drinking. You know what I mean?
And then your father passed
No,
away.
I didn't drink till my father. Like I drank, but I was making plans.
Yeah.
Now that I was too cold, I'm gonna move. So I had that going on.
Yeah.
Planning on going back to school. I had stuff in motion. But once my dad passed away suddenly, now I'm grieving 2 things almost.
Wow.
So
what happened to your life from there?
So there was moments where it was real good and moments where it was real bad, man. So I'm gonna probably start to go deep into the mental health stuff because it started to lead to a lot of darkness in my life. So like buying a house, getting it built, that whole new part was cool, man. Like, you know what I mean? I never.
Where'd you end up moving
Venice, Florida, on the west coast of Florida.
Okay.
And so that whole process was cool, man. You know, like I never owned a house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it kept my mind off a little bit, but always in the back of my mind, my dad wanted to come with me. So when he was 62, he was a teacher at this point. Even though it was a lot of things in his life.
Okay.
But he was like, I'm coming with you. So, and I would never be able to, I didn't have enough money to buy that house. But my dad died in service as a teacher. He was still an active teacher.
Wow.
So they had, like how we do.
A lot of or
a life insurance. It was like $250,000. My sister got half, I got half. Okay. Which allowed me to put a down payment on a neighborhood I normally wouldn't be able to afford at the moment.
Sure.
So I would have lived somewhere else on the west coast of Florida. I think up near Parrish. It was a little more affordable.
Yeah.
But my dad was coming with me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. This is going to go back to real quick on the thank you thing. I don't think I ever said thank you to my dad. So.
Wow.
Not thank you for stuff.
But
just the big thank you.
Yeah.
Because he was a good dude.
Yeah. Wow.
So.
Did that weigh heavy on you when you passed away? I feel that when people grieve, a lot of the sadness comes from maybe guilt.
I was kind of, a lot of it was that.
Yeah.
I could have been a better son. I learned a lot, man, that I pass on to other people now about death and grief.
When you say you could have been a better son, in what way?
It's probably not true, but I just felt that in my heart, you know?
Yeah.
I could have spent more time with him, could have called him more.
Yeah.
Natural reactions.
Do you feel that our job or our careers can get in the way of relationships with the people that should mean everything to us?
I think for sure.
Yeah.
I think I put it before my wife a lot, my family a lot.
Wow.
But I keep, so it's going to go on a big picture about mental health. Man, you got to learn how to forgive yourself. It's one of the hardest things to do. Yeah, you could repent if you believe in that. But you got to forgive yourself, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You could have some peace in your faith. But if you don't forgive yourself, it's still there.
Yeah, so just talk about how you began to struggle. Like what obviously you lost your job.
So from the beginning, I was kind of struggling, but I didn't want to talk about it because everybody else was celebratory about it. So I kind of played a character.
About the 3/4.
A lot of my career. You know what I mean? Because I was always socially uncomfortable. I was comfortable on the job, man. Very comfortable.
Yeah.
Like I liked my crime team, man. I love those guys, bro. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like that's where you thrive most in life?
Yeah,
do you feel like you found your place?
Like at the moment, I was in my place. But here's the thing about life, man. This is about purpose, right?
Yeah.
The overall theme of this is purpose, right? And at the moment, I thought I was in my purpose, man. Like I think I was, but it doesn't mean your purpose is the same all the time, man.
It shifts.
It shifts all the time.
It shifts.
So that's a thing people got to understand. Like your purpose shifts all the time. You know what I mean? Like your purpose today is several different things. You said it was your son's birthday. That's part of your purpose today. Part of your purpose is let me come on this podcast.
Or
and then there's an overall bigger purpose.
Right. So there's also the macro.
Yeah.
There's also the macro and the things that may seem like they shift as far as your purpose is concerned is just a part of the macro purpose. It's just a part of the process for the bigger purpose.
Yeah. And I don't think I ever had a macro purpose.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, I thought the NYPD was it. You know what I mean? And this isn't a job thing. This is a society thing. You know, I think the newer generation is a little different. And I respect them for it because I work with a lot of them. And we're gonna get into that because they cover time a lot, and people knock them for it. But it's the only thing you can't buy back, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Like I tell people all the time, I'll cut off my right arm to talk to my dad again.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because people don't realize that I can't buy it. I can make $1 billion. I can't buy it.
Your pension can't cover it.
Nah, man. So time is important.
Yeah.
So people that covet time, leave them alone.
Love it.
You know what I'm saying? As long as they're doing something good with that time.
Right.
If they're just sitting there.
Has to be purposeful.
Yeah. Like, but if they're going
to be intentional.
If they're going out there and doing stuff they love, doing, I don't know, man, like whatever it is, that's cool. If they're just sitting there and binge watching, maybe you should get on a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? Because now they're wasting time.
So I just want to go a little deeper into your process and dealing with the grieving and dealing with.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't process it. So my dad was a coach his whole career, like his whole life.
What kind of coach?
Football coach.
Football.
So I found a lot of peace in the fact that he was very impactful on young people's lives. Very impactful. Like I had people sit at Thanksgiving dinner with us because they didn't have anybody.
That's beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, because players. And then I found out I had a lot more after he passed away. My dad didn't really talk about it. You know what I mean? Like he kept that part of his life separate. Not separate, but you know what I mean? He had his family and he had that.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how much of impact he had on young people. And this has kind of shaped my purpose moving forward here. I learned it from him. So I remember him throwing me one of his players who was friends with me didn't really have the ability to show up to get to their orientation at West Virginia. So they just weren't going to go to college, even though they got in to play.
Wow.
So it's midnight. And I'm like, Bradley got orientation. I was saying, last name as you. And he threw me the keys to his car. He said, get there. We drive through the night, me and two of my friends.
You drove Bradley there.
Michael's.
Nice.
And I had a good time. I went through the whole orientation, like we were going there. We weren't. Me and the other guy were going to two different colleges.
That's awesome. Where did you go to college?
Arizona State University.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you play sports there?
No. I wasn't good enough to play. I was a good runner, but not that good. And I could never find my purpose there, man.
What was your major? How'd you go to Arizona State to coming back being a limo driver?
Because that college wasn't for me, man. All I did was party. I could never focus. Even the thing about me in life is part of my mental disability never showed because I was real good at skimming and taking tests. So I had a learning disability because I couldn't focus. But I guess I was good enough to get, but at some point the level gets too high.
Yeah.
And that scam runs out.
Right.
Basically what happened. But I never thought there was something wrong with me. Now I look back, not that there was something wrong with me, but there was something I wasn't addressing on that. And I never read books, man, because I couldn't get through one. Mm-hmm. I don't know if anybody ever noticed, but even now, I never really sat still in a 2-3, even in my house. I was always moving. So there was stuff there that was noticeable.
Okay.
But since I was good at testing and
you pushed through.
Yeah, it didn't affect me academically.
Yeah.
Or intellectually.
Right.
So nobody ever put it on the radar.
Right. Okay, so interesting. Now you're trying to grieve. People are celebrating it instead of, you leaving a job instead of.
Yeah, and then some. Yeah. So it was just tough, man. And I used alcohol a lot, man. And my wife didn't just kind of let me be, man, because I don't need it as a partner, and I appreciate it because you can't really. There's not much you can say, man. Except just be there, and she was, but she just kind of let me figure it out, and I appreciate it. Even though I was figuring it out the wrong way, I had to do something. I had to let it play out.
Yeah.
But then so before I went to Florida was probably some of the toughest time, man, because before we started to build that part of my life, our life, I should say, because I was just in Queens waiting to make a move, you know what I mean? And I was just sitting on a couch drinking, man, every day, cases of beer, dude.
Yeah.
I had nothing to do.
So in that moment, you said that your wife kind of just let you go through the motions?
Well, because I kind of was standoffish.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
How did she deal with that?
I don't know. My wife's kind of an introvert. So I never really spoke about that with her. Like,
Mhm.
you know, I'm sure she knew I wasn't doing it, but she also watched me deal with trauma all the time the wrong way.
Wow.
And it was with alcohol, man. Like I've used alcohol. I'm not gonna knock anybody that drinks, bro, because I'm not. And because I think there's some people that have alcohol and they don't use it for that purpose. My entire life, I used it for medication.
I think many people do.
Yeah, I don't know about all though, you know. So I don't like to like put that broad brush over somebody.
Yeah.
And like I would like when I was on the end, and I think part of it was I have an anxiety disorder, and like people think anxiety is just feeling anxious. Like I felt anxious today, normal, going on a podcast. Supposed to feel anxious.
Yeah, I felt anxious too.
First day on a precinct, supposed to feel anxious.
Yeah.
But when you're sitting there folding laundry, your fight or flight starts to shoot off.
Wow.
So that happened to me a few times when I was younger, like in my teens, and then I learned just how to work through it. And then on the job, the crazy part about the job is it never happened on the job. You know why? Because we're firing off our adrenaline all the time. So we're already like getting that out of our system. If you have that kind of disorder.
Yeah. And not only that, but there's so many people that we're surrounded by.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so if you need somebody to talk to, if you need to joke around, there's always somebody there for the most part.
Yeah. And we never talk about that, which is a problem. But yeah, but part of it is the radio, man. The radio like gets that, what do you call it? Like, like when you take a dog that has too much energy.
Yeah.
Like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And probably why I like crime. A lot of military guys are like that. So my doctor now has said that's why guys like you and guys like that in the military excel. But when it's over, it's tough.
Yeah. So what were your valleys? When did you hit a valley?
Like
your lowest point.
So I want to talk about so it was a progression, right?
And what led up to it.
So we get the house, and I start to find I'm trying to find purpose. I am.
Yeah. How?
Like, I go back to school because I paid a lot of money for it, but it was something that bothered me because I didn't like unfinished business. So I didn't have a degree from Arizona State. So I go back online, I get my degree, I finish it.
From Arizona State.
Yeah, I paid way too much money for it.
Yeah.
But I do it online because I wanted the paper from there. It made no like financial sense, but it made purpose sense.
Okay.
Because it was something unfinished in my life.
Okay. Or at least you thought.
At the moment, yeah. But okay. I wanted to finish it.
Okay.
Yeah, but getting a degree, but then it's over. It hangs on the wall.
Yeah.
So that's not purpose.
Right.
And then, I get involved in politics. And then the politics thing was good because I realized I could talk in front of people and people would listen. Like, besides, the few times I got to do it on in front of my squad with people pay attention to what I'm saying. When the bosses weren't there, you could tell people. You can tell when people are listening and when they're not listening.
Yeah.
I learned that from public speaking.
Sure.
So even though politics wound up not being my purpose because it's ugly, and I didn't like some of the stuff going on, so I got to talk in front of a few hundred people, and when you look out in the audience, you could tell who's listening or not.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So like I realized they're actually listening to me. You know what I mean? So I realized this is something I'm okay at. Talking in front of people.
Yeah.
But it wound up being my purpose either. And I didn't. They tried to get me to run for office. I didn't want to, and I just kind of left.
Okay.
I did it for a while, but I just kind of left it. And then it started. My health started to fail. Basically.
In what capacity?
Mentally, but I thought it was physically. So I started drinking more, because it's the only way I knew how to like deal with what was going on. And I'm having like fight or flight all the time starting to happen. And I'm thinking there's something physically wrong with me because the fight or flight is happening so much that it's burning my body out. And for like 3 days, I just want to lay there.
Wow.
So I'm thinking I'm sick. And it's like during COVID time. So I'm like, man, maybe I don't think I had COVID, but I'm thinking something like. So I go to doctor, like a ton of. I go to my main doctor, and I make her run every test in the world on me. I go to my cardiologist, make him run every test on the world on me. But my cardiologist is like, look, man, and she said to me, it's your head. like off the bat.
Your cardiologist.
No. I mean, the family doctor, whatever, general practitioner.
Primary care, yeah.
Like, she didn't really know me either because I didn't go to doctors a lot.
Wow.
But from the first interview with her, and I'm telling her everything that's going on, she's like, it's your head. And I didn't want to believe that. I wanted them to tell me something was wrong with me physically that I could fix.
Yeah, you wanted an immediate fix.
Yeah, it wanted to tell me you got this going on, you could do this. Right. But if it's your head, like, whoa. So
that's hard to accept.
Yeah, I didn't want to accept it. Right. In the beginning, I didn't even want to go to doctors. I just wanted to keep trying to figure it out on my own. But it just kept getting worse and worse.
Is that something that your wife encouraged you to do, or you kind of came up with?
No, my wife definitely was like,
let's get this done.
You better, yeah. And I didn't listen 100% at the time. But it started getting so bad.
So she did push you to that.
Yeah, because she's starting to get scared.
Okay, good.
I'm scared.
Yeah, because I know initially you said that she was introverted, but now it seems like she's...
But she's always been by my side.
Yeah.
And when your dad dies, like, you expect people to have some kind of reaction.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So if you drink a little extra, it's not looked at that crazy. You know what I mean? Right. But she didn't know what was going through my head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In my head, it's like, I lost my job. Yeah. Who the hell am I? Now my dad's gone. Right. Like, what the hell? Like I couldn't process it all. It was just like a lot. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I couldn't really talk to anybody because I didn't want to really... I've always protected my wife from that because I just didn't want to freak her out, man. Same thing with guys on the job. I'm going to get into that because it's important.
So you go to your primary care doctor. They say that it's something in your head.
Yeah, I don't want to believe it. So she goes, look, we'll run every test in the world because I can't be on... she's going with her gut. But she's like, I can't 100% say. So I go for every test in the world, man, and I'm getting worse and worse. Like, to the point where they're doing, like, thyroid tests. I go to the cardiologist, and he's like, look, man, you got to at least start taking blood pressure medicine because I know it's only spiking temporarily, but you could die. Yeah. Because my heart rate, when I walked in the cardiologist that day, my blood pressure was like 200 over 100. My heart rate, like I ran a marathon. And he's like, I know it's but he put me on a heart rate monitor and everything, make sure there was nothing actually going on with my heart. Yeah. There was nothing. Yeah. It was my brain. It was my nervous system firing. But he's like, it's dangerous, man. Like, and I knew my cardiologist for a while because when I first got to Florida, I went and got a full workup. And he was laughing at me because I was so young. But I'm like, they say that's 15 years. I want to make sure, everything's okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not normal for a 36-year-old to get a full workup. But I pushed for it because I seen it happen to guys. Yeah. Click one check. And then they never
they think they could and they never go back.
No, they never got checked and then they never get to enjoy their pension. Gotcha. You know what I mean? Gotcha. So I wanted to at least collect the pension. Right. So I got that and he said, no, you're fine. So I had a rapport with him. So when I come back there, he knew it was my head, but he's like, you got to start thinking about medication to at least control. He wasn't talking psych meds because he's not a psych doctor, but to at least control that spike. Because that spike could give you a stroke. Yep. That spike could give you a heart attack. Yeah. That spike could kill you. Yeah. So I didn't want to listen to him. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, because I was like anti-medicine, I could figure it out. I could shake it off.
Yeah, I mean that's us as men.
Yeah. So but eventually I started giving a little bit more to the medicine thing. Just blood pressure medicine, I think, was the first thing I took, which was like a beta blocker, which would stop that. Okay. Stop. At least I still could have a panic attack, but it'll keep my
regulated.
Yeah, you're still going through like you can't breathe and your heart hurts, but your blood pressure ain't through the roof, so you won't stroke out. Gotcha. So it's like one of the first steps you could take to deal with it. But I just keep trying to drink more and drink more and drink more, man. And
so you're literally just trying to drown away.
I'm just trying to feel better. And then it started to get so bad. Like, I'm like looking at everything, man. I'm like, is it a chemical in my house? Is it my car? Wow. I'm like, this is how bad I feel, man. I can't explain it. Wow. So, it's all in my head in the end. But now I'm going through it, and I just keep getting sicker, man. Like I couldn't function. I went from being able to talk and being an anti-crime cop, talk in front of 300 people, to not being able to go to the supermarket.
What did that do? Why were you not able to go to the supermarket?
because my mental health had declined so bad.
What were you feeling? Like if you had a thought of just going to the supermarket, what did that make you feel mentally and physically?
So I had these thoughts in my head that everybody knew.
Wow.
That I wasn't right.
Wow.
Because I was so not right, man. This is tough to say, but people need to hear it. So I don't know if people know what it feels like to be in that darkness. And I'll tell you this. I'm thankful I went through it. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
Really?
Yeah. So anybody thinks that it's weakness, they're crazy. And this is the point in my life where I knew my pension meant nothing. Because I couldn't buy my way out of it, man. I couldn't buy my way out of it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting I'm self-isolating. So the only thing that gave me a little bit of cover, except for my wife, because she knew, it was like COVID time. So self-isolating.
So it worked out for you.
Not really it worked out, but it didn't
It wasn't, people weren't able to see it.
It didn't raise red flags everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Now did that work for you or against you?
Against me. Because I feel like if I was self-isolating and a lot more people knew, I would have had more people saying, "Oh, what's going on, man?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my mom knew, but I don't think she knew to a level I was at.
Okay.
So, and then, so then one day I'm like, I'm not drinking ever again, this is probably a bad move, but cold turkey, drinking caffeine. I'm not taking any supplements because I just wanted to feel better. Because I felt like, I'm telling you, I was in fight or flight for hours, man. I would wake up in fight or flight. I'd wake up in the middle of the night in fight or flight. I would go in my gym, do 1,000 push-ups. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't bring it back to baseline.
Balance it.
And it would just get to the point where my body would exhaust out. My nervous system would exhaust my body out. And then I wouldn't move for days.
Was this a 24/7 type of thing?
Yeah.
Wow.
And in my head, these are the thoughts. So anybody listening right now, man, this is important. Probably the most important thing I say. If you're in that full darkness, you got to believe me that there's light, man. Because at that moment, I didn't think there was, bro. So like, I'll explain to you. I'm going to put it in police terms for you because we have a lot of cops listening. So me and you, right? We out on a job, man. Got man with a gun, right? So man with a gun, 7th floor, washing houses, whatever building. So we're going up the staircase. Only one of us could look out there, right? It's going to be me. I'm going to look down that hallway, right? And I'm going to say, Bradley's clear. You don't got to look, right?
No.
I'm trusting you. I'm asking people right now if they sit in full darkness, thinking never going to get better, because that's what I thought. There's light. I could see the light.
So you're giving them that.
Yeah, so.
You're giving them that knowledge and you're giving them that.
Yeah, because I was there, man. Like, so here's the thoughts, right? So when you're in that darkness, here are the thoughts that go through your head. Some of it is medical, and some of it is neurological pathways in your brain. They call it the negative feedback, right? And your brain starts to lie to you, man. It does. Like, I'm never going to get better. I'm just a burden. My wife didn't sign up to be a caretaker. The world's better without me here, man. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even go to the supermarket. There was a point I told my wife to take me to the psych ward and just leave me there, man. Just go continue your life. I said this stuff out loud. And I feel bad for my wife, man, because I'm going to say this right now on the air because it's a tough thing to say, but I said it several times to her. I don't want to be here anymore. So people, and I'm going to say this too. I thought everything else that you all think out there, man, the people that aren't struggling, all the I'm going to say bullshit because it is. And that is weakness. It's not true. That you're taking the easy way out. It's not true. So, and the reason I knew money didn't matter anymore, because I had faith. And at this point, when I started going to the when I started accepting it was all in my head, I started to tell a few people around me in Florida. And this is when I knew I had good people around me. Because these are tough guys, bro.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell no cops. That's how ingrained it was in me. Even though I'm retired, I didn't tell no cops, man.
Wow.
Because it was so anti in the job. And then I didn't want it to affect them in a certain way. I didn't want to make them feel a certain way. I didn't want them to think, you know how it is, man.
What you said, you told your wife you didn't want to be here.
Several times, man.
Several times. Did you have an idea that were you mapping things out to
No,
hurt yourself in any way, shape, or form?
no, but I would have got there, man.
You would've got there.
I was starting to go there.
Starting to go there.
Yeah, and there was things that got me out of it, and I'm going to explain that. But I was definitely going there to the point. This is tough to say, and I hope my wife don't get mad I'm saying this. There was a night. I was fixing something. It was late at night.
Yeah.
And I'm into computers, crypto, and I had stuff up on a shelf. So I was on a stepladder, and I was adjusting something. The stepladder fell, and it was loud, man. I fell off my washing machine, hit the floor. And I just froze. I thought I hurt myself. My wife thought I killed myself.
Wow.
She never got out of bed because she thought I hung myself.
So she was afraid to see you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's how often you were telling her that you didn't.
Because I had nobody else to tell, man. And I feel bad, man.
Wow.
You know, like I don't want to do this no more. Even when I started to start the fight with the general practitioner, because the general practitioner gave me I was anti-psych. So I had all these things about suicide wrong. And the only way I found out was going through it. But I don't wish anybody to find out that way. That's why I'm talking right now.
Yeah.
Because it's not a good way to find out.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want people to catch themselves before they get to that point.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
So I had nobody else to tell. And she would get so scared she would call my mom.
Wow.
And my mom would come.
Was the alcohol the driving force to making you go deeper and deeper into this depression?
Probably. And it was, and you know, alcohol changes your brain chemistry over time.
Do you feel like you were one critical incident away?
I'm going to tell you this. When I look back at it, the 3/4 is a blessing. Because if this would have happened when I was on the job, bro. And I think it would have turned maybe a different way.
The same thing would have happened.
I think so.
If you were on the job.
I believe so.
But you would have had access.
No, I just would have had less ability to work around it. You know what I mean? Because it's so negative on the job.
But what I'm saying is, that's why it's so crucial with our job, because we have access to firearms.
But it's not the firearm. You know what I mean? But think about it. Like at this point, at least I have the ability to go to doctors every day.
Yeah.
Try to see what's going on.
Yeah.
On the job, I wouldn't have had that, man.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
I see.
And I wouldn't be able to tell nobody, but you know what I mean? I don't even think I would have told my wife at that point.
Right.
Because it's such a taboo, bro.
Right. And you probably wouldn't be able to invest as much time as you would need to make sure that you were well.
Yeah, to even attempt it.
Yeah.
And I would just go through that. And you know, it's such a negative on the job. And I'm going to go to that part right now, man, because it's so important.
Please do.
Yeah, man. Like, we all play into this nonsense on the job. And I played into it too. And I'm sorry I did. I can't go back on it and do better. And, you know, we don't take care of our people that are going through stuff like that. Even the ones that fortunately didn't make that ultimate decision and either got caught in time or somebody made the phone call, whatever happened. You know what I mean? We treat them like pariahs, bro. Why? They're so close to death. And we make fun of them. Rubber gun squad, broken toy, right? Well, you know.
Yeah. I know.
EDP. You have somebody at the lowest point in their life and they're already feeling a certain way about it. They don't belong here. I'm no good. I'll never get better. These are the thoughts, man. Yeah. This is all that's going through your head like in a loop. They call it the negative loop pattern.
The what?
The negative loop pattern.
Negative loop pattern, okay.
So you're burning a neurological pathway in your brain that's negative, and you're starting to believe it. Because when you see something enough, you believe it.
Yeah.
It's the same idea.
Right.
It's not true, though.
You see it, you think it, it becomes it.
Yeah, but it's not true because it's one, changing your neurological pathway away from being okay, or a little bit of medicine to help you out of it. But I was so against psych meds. I didn't believe in them. And I didn't, you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, anybody I didn't have enough empathy for in that situation, on the job, in my family, I apologize because I should have had more.
That's amazing.
I should have.
How did you get yourself out of that hole?
So it was like a collective and a long process, man.
Yeah.
So I was afraid to tell any of them. I mean, I'm in a group chat with my crime team, and these guys that would have lived and died for me, man, I'm not telling any of them.
Do you think it helped to stay in touch with a lot of police officers or say that group chat while you were going through that stuff?
But because I didn't tell them anything, you know?
Even though you didn't tell them anything, there's still this...
yeah,
it's still its own stigma.
I'm
still a lot.
I'm not gonna lie. During like that COVID, it was like a good connection. You know, but Arius is gonna listen to this, and there was a point he came to Florida, and I didn't go see him, but I just said I was sick, but I was so mentally effed up.
Wow.
Like, you know what I mean? He wanted me to come out, hang out, Siesta Key, you know, at the beach, just chill, man.
Yeah. And
I couldn't do it, and I couldn't admit to him why, and that was the job, man. But I hung out. So when I got to Florida, I wanted making friends, right? I got into classic cars. I wanted making real good friends with the mechanic who taught me how to work on cars. A little older than me, his name is Bert. He passed away, unfortunately. And so rest in peace, Bert. And I met another guy named John through my wife because she started volunteering with Special Olympics. So he was like an older strength coach for football. But he kind of retired, helped out a little bit. So these are like salt of the earth, tough guys. Same as like PD to me, man. Just like, these ain't guys that talk about feelings, bro. You know? And John was the first one when I told him, yo, man, I'm having some struggle. He was like, open the Bible. And I said, man, what page? He said, it doesn't matter. It'll be on the right page. But he's giving me things to do to help me try to get out of it, right? And then I go to my friend Bert's shop. And I kind of tell him, man, this is when I first started medication the first time. And it was making me not feel good. And one of the only comfortable places was there, you know? And he would let me come there and he'd be like, yo, buddy, you'll be all right, you know, just real positive, you know? His wife was a nurse practitioner, so he'd be like, oh, you want to talk to Gina? You know? And so I had people, you know? My wife was supportive, my mom. Yeah. So I had people around me that knew and were trying to help me. But I'm still fighting and I'm still losing. Even though I stopped drinking.
What was your way of fighting?
Like trying to do, like just, you know, the general practitioner gave me, I forget what kind of medicine, but it was making me feel crazy, crazier than I already was. I was just, you know, John telling me to read the Bible, me praying at night, you know? And like I said, that's when I knew money didn't matter, because I would pray to God at night. Like on my knees, bro. Like take everything and just leave me my wife and my dog. Like, just take it, man. I just want to feel better, dude.
Wow. That's
how I'm talking to God, right? At the moment. Just take it all away. I don't need any of it, because none of it's going to make me better. I just want to be better. Just want to be better. So like, I'm trying to give a picture. I can't say everybody, because I don't know what everybody's gone through, but I'm trying to give a picture about mental health here. That how low it is, man, and how hard it is to dig out. So anybody thinks it's weakness, shake it off. Nah, man.
That's the wrong way.
It ain't gonna happen, man. You got it. Like, I hope people do constructive stuff never to get to that point.
If you were to give people a step-by-step process based off of your personal experience from you digging yourself out of that hole,
if they're starting to feel,
what would that process be?
One of the worst things they could do is drink.
Okay.
But if they've been drinking for a while and they're using it as medication, I would seek the medical way to stop drinking.
Do you think something like Alcoholics Anonymous?
No, I would get that 12-step. I don't know. It depends how deep you're in. Like, I don't think I was like I didn't wake up with the shakes. You know, I used like medication. You know what I mean? But
like, it was still a coping mechanism for you.
Yeah. And then as I got worse, the only mechanism I had was whiskey. And I'm thinking, and now it's just more and more. And all I'm doing is making it worse. Yeah. That's why I quit. I quit cold turkey because I'm like, something's wrong. Okay. I'm dying, you know? Right. You know.
So you would say whatever it is that you're using as a coping mechanism, you start with that. in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. So if you're drinking, I would address that like right off the bat. Like I would I know it's a taboo, but off the bat I would seek medical professionals.
It's weird to normalize that. It's not taboo anymore. I think what we have to do.
What about on the job?
Well, here's what I'm saying. You know how we spoke about what we say it becomes, and what we read it becomes, and believe it becomes.
Yeah.
I'm making it so that it's not taboo anymore. You're here so that it's not taboo anymore. So I'm speaking it into existence. Even though theoretically, yes, it is taboo in a job, but I'm claiming it that it's no longer taboo. And I'm claiming it that...
No, I'm claiming the same thing. I'm claiming the same thing,
I'm claiming it that men and women that I have on the show will make it so that it's no longer taboo. So I'm not saying that anymore. And the NYPD, they notice it too. That's why they have the mental health and wellness section. They're doing their best too. But if we do not have more people that speak out like you, they're not going to solicit the services that are available and make that step.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was going to say, I know that the mental health and wellness section does a great job at putting out the fact that they're out there, but I think that they need more help.
Yeah.
I think that they need more reinforcements. And that's why with me having purpose over pension, there's certain things that I could say that they might not be able to say because they're still on the job. So I'm just going to lay it out, whether you think it's negative or not, because people need to hear the truth and they need the right resources.
Yeah, I'm trying to be as real as possible.
Nah, you're doing a great job.
You know what I'm saying?
You're doing a great job.
Only a few people heard me say this, out loud. But like I said, it was so ingrained in me that some of the people I trusted the most, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I didn't lay it on them, man.
Right.
But I was fortunate enough. They say the character of people around you when stuff's going wrong. I happen to have some good people around me in Florida.
That's beautiful, man.
Just by, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So you said getting rid of the alcohol, right? Or that first
step. The first step would be like stop using it as medication.
The coping mechanism.
Yeah. And go to a doctor and try to get off alcohol a healthier way than I did. Because all I did was make myself crazier. Because, quitting caffeine, it's just I quit everything. I just want to feel better, man. I was willing to try anything, man. Somebody told me they would take me out to try ashwagandha. I was at that point, man. Because I wanted that. I was at that rope, man.
Yeah.
I just wanted to feel better. You know what I mean? Right. That's when I started to be more open to medication. Because I was anti-psych meds, man.
Okay.
Everything I'm saying, I did the wrong way.
So you would say that next step would be to speak to a physician, speak to somebody that can help you with therapy. Get you on some type of medication.
Yeah. So I just want to go back to that job real quick because we're not going to be able to change the apparatus.
Okay.
But we could change how we treat each other and how we treat it.
That's major.
You know what I'm saying? As just the guys in the precinct, we could treat it different. We could stop mocking it. We could check on them. Yeah, they might get shipped off to some foreign precinct somewhere. You know what I mean? But we could all call them. We could go to their house. We could visit them. Right. You're not going to catch it, bro. We do the same thing that people get jammed up, man. You're not going to catch it. Somebody made a mistake. They're not a perp. Yeah, what they did was a perp move.
Yeah.
But they did a lot of good. They screwed up. So what?
Right.
What? They're no good no more?
Right.
What bothers me the most now, I look back at it, then they show up when it all clears and everybody's like, yeah, you're back. Yep. But nobody called them, bro. I can't say nobody, but I know the whole precinct didn't.
Most of the time they don't.
Nah, but you hear that look out for each other, care for each other. It's not happening, man.
It doesn't happen.
But in this situation, it has to happen, bro.
Yeah.
Because when you start speaking about it, you start realizing a lot of tough guys in the same spot, man. Because nobody's allowed to talk about it. Right. Everybody's even in this day and age. So back in the day, they said you weren't even allowed to talk about it. Back when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
It's taboo to even talk about it. Right. But now they're all talk about it. Nobody's there. Well, now we are.
Yeah.
But in general, people ain't talking about it, Right. It's not. So like I said, I might have told you this once. So say you go through something real heavy, man. Somebody passing away in your family, a job, man. Maybe you saw a little kid passed away, man. That's sticking with you forever. You know what I mean? Not a gang member, but that sticks with you too. Or so in a car accident, man, family, you see it. DOA, you go to their house, you see the whole life is in front of you, man.
Is there a critical incident that when you were in your valley that you would think about that dealt with the job? Any specific circumstances or jobs that just replayed over in your head that would really mess you up?
No, I don't think I was replaying that in my head. That would mess me up, but I know it's all there, and I know it's all PTSD. You know why I know? Because it all looks like I can recall it all like a picture. So you know that, you know what I mean? I can't remember one PAR I did because I never had a death one. But I can remember, not that I had a lot of them, but I remember every DOA. I remember every gang member dead in the street. I remember the guy that got ran over on First Avenue by the bus. Like it's today, bro. Like it happened a day toward today.
So with you struggling and being in that valley, were these things that would resurface?
Nah, they weren't resurfacing, but it's stuff that I just kept pushing down, and that was it was explained to me by a doctor that basically it's just like your body, like the job gives you the adrenaline out, right? So you kind of get the whatever you call it, the wiggles out or whatever. Like I said, running the dog.
Yeah.
But when you don't have the job anymore, you go admin and you're just not as active or whatever. All that stuff you push down, bro, it didn't leave, man.
Yep.
So your nervous system starts to fire when it shouldn't because it's trying to protect you.
And I agree. I can attest to that.
So even if you're not thinking about it and you're like consciously,
subconscious,
it's there.
It's buried there.
And it's firing it.
Yeah.
Firing it. So that's why you're sitting there watching TV. It's firing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the huge thing when I post a lot on Instagram, people always talk about not making the job your identity.
Yeah.
And I agree with that 100%. But what people need to understand is that when you're on a job like that for so long, the things that you see and the things that you deal with, it does become you to some extent.
It's with you forever, man.
It's with you forever. And it's just about how you manage it. So you could throw those stigmas out there. You could throw those quick one-liners out there. Don't make the job your identity. Don't let the job become you. But it's very hard to not let that happen.
Yeah, it is. Because the whole culture is to be kind of... This is another point why I don't understand why we don't take care of each other. Because it's like so tribal. We only hang out with cops. Like, you know what I mean? But then when it comes time to helping somebody, it becomes untribal.
Because it's honestly, it's no different from the gangs that are out there in the neighborhood. Really think about it, right? You have these gangs, they all stick together. If one person decides that they don't want to put in work anymore for that gang, they're pretty much dead to them.
Yeah. Well, same thing.
And it's the same thing when it comes down to this job. If you are not doing the same thing, if you're not struggling with everybody else, if you're not putting in the work that everybody else is putting in that they feel is valid to be validated, if that makes sense, then you're just kicked to the curb.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything if you're not hanging out with that person on the 4 to 12s after work anymore.
Yeah.
Right? If you're not coming to the baby showers and you're not coming to the barbecues and you're not going to the cigar events to keep everybody happy or to be a part of that crew, you know what I'm saying? And to do whatever coping mechanisms together in a community, then you're kind of written off. And coping mechanisms can also look like doing overtime, you know, using the job to get through whatever pains that you're going through. And I think that for a lot of people that work very hard, it's because they're passionate about it or they're just using it to cope or to validate them and their existence.
Well, it's like, you gotta remember, it's all dopamine release. So it's all addiction now. Like,
right.
So you can get addicted to overtime because it's a dopamine release.
It is.
It had nothing to do with the number on your paycheck. It's just chasing, it's just that it makes you feel good. Like, I get 30 hours, And then, even like detectives, man, I give them mad props, but one day is going to be your last case, bro.
Yeah. But you go back and you think about it, right?
Yeah.
You're in a unit and say everybody is capping out on overtime, but you're not doing it. It's like you're the outsider because you're not in that. So you're not coping with things the same way. You're not coping with being away from home and the things that you see in the street by doing overtime.
Yeah. I wasn't a big overtime guy.
Me either.
But I didn't do positive stuff with my time. So it wasn't much healthier.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So
So tell me, what was your main turning point? You gave me a couple of steps. You said, cut out the whatever vices you have going on. Seek help if you need to be put on medication. do so.
So
how about spiritually?
Spiritually and gratitude and giving yourself. So people around you started give, like I told you, I had some people around me started giving me grace and empathy, right? People I never thought, these are tough dudes, man. You talk about tough guys, bro.
Yeah.
Especially, and
When you say tough guys, what makes them tough guys?
like one was a strength coach, one's a mechanic his whole life. These ain't, these ain't baristas at Starbucks. I'm just giving stereotypes here. You know what I mean?
And the reason why I ask that is because I think that sometimes we have that label, like if you're a tough guy, that means.
But like these are guys,
you're not sensitive. But I just want to clarify.
But then you realize once you say that you're struggling, they were like especially John, he was older than me, and he gave me a lot of advice. Before that, because I had a lot of pain in my knee, and he's like, look, you gotta get your legs stronger and you'll have less pain. That's what he told me. And he helped me get stronger. So this is physically, before. So I knew him that. But he's somebody like, I know he was big into faith, but he's somebody I didn't think, you just start to realize that they went through stuff too, man.
Yeah. It's that stigma once again.
Yeah.
Like if you look a certain way, if you have a certain career, then you're probably not.
And then the whole time, like, whether it's getting stronger or whether I'm on a friend's shop before it all went down, you're not talking about like feelings. You're just joking around, you just trying to like have a good time, you know what I mean? Like hang out, having these deep conversations, So you don't think that they went through it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody thinks everybody around them never went through it. It's not true.
Most people do. Everybody has a story. Everybody has.
The more I talk about it, the more people
talk about it.
Yeah.
That's right. So like I was getting to spiritually, is there anything that helped you lift you out of that circumstance? I know your friend told you to read the Bible.
Yeah. So I didn't go full, like I've always believed in God, and that's just something I got my reasons, but I wasn't practicing it really. And but I started to read the Bible, but I didn't understand what the hell I'm reading, and I feel so sick. And so that's why I'm like begging God to take everything and give me my wife and my dog. And this is why like I said, this is when I knew money doesn't matter. So if anybody out there is chasing money and think it matters, it means absolutely nothing. I don't want to say it means absolutely nothing because I know it does.
It does provide
freedom. But it's a tool, but it's not everything, man. Do not make it everything.
Right.
Because when things go bad, you can't buy your way out, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
All the overtime you did, it ain't gonna buy your way out. It ain't gonna buy you mental health.
Right.
And if your mental health gets so bad to the point where you don't make it, then what was the point?
Right.
So I just want people to know that,
Yeah.
But one thing, gratitude.
Gratitude.
I started thinking on that level. And I'll tell anybody this, in any job, anywhere. And no matter how bad, like some people might be out there struggling to armed cops or any job, man. Just struggling in life. Or and say the job itself, like you're not chasing the pension, but you want to finish it out. I got no problem with that. You got plans after, like you're squared away. Like you got a degree, you got a plan, right? I would say use gratitude, man. Like instead of saying like, damn, I gotta do another tour. Say I get to do another tour. Instead of saying, damn, I gotta write another PR. Say, thank God I'm alive that I get to do a PR. Say, thank God I'm healthy enough to walk through these doors.
Wow.
Because there's a lot of guys that didn't make it. There's guys that didn't make it, man.
Yeah. Wow.
You know what I mean?
Gratitude is huge. You're right.
And they say you can't have gratitude and be anxious at the same time. So I don't know how true that is and physiologically.
Wow.
But so gratitude helps. So I started to talk to God a little different. And like I said, I had no formal thing going here, man. It's just me and not knowing what to do. And I just started, instead of saying, make me better, I just started saying, thank you for another day to fight. And I start praying for all the people that were helping me every night. I said, I would list them, every name, take care of them. Take care of them. Not because they're helping me, but I realize they're good people. They gotta be here, man.
Wow.
you know. And as I started to like change a little bit, but I would still have those darkness, man. Like those days you still fall back into darkness, you know. And then I did have a therapist, and when I kept saying I was waking up in fight or flight, he's like, man, you need next love, which I didn't agree with. So he gave me a number of a doctor in my area that was good. And I'm gonna explain this too, because I know cops tend to be frugal, right?
Go for it. Go for it.
But we won't spend money on our health, man. Like people drive 80 miles to find a doctor that fits the insurance. Just go to the best. Like
so true.
You'll buy an $80,000 car, but you won't spend $1,000 on your health.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
So all right. So he's like, the doctor it only takes cash, right? I'm gonna get this messed up because I think psychiatrist, psychologist, the one that could prescribe
whatever.
medicine.
Yeah.
He's the higher level. So this is this gonna be tough to say. So I'm having one of them days at my house, like, because I'm going to these doctors and I'm trying, man, and I'm not, and nothing's working, and I'm still feeling that low. And I don't know if I don't know if my wife calls my mom, but my mom comes to my house. And she says, let's go for a walk. We walk a long way. You go out my house like 2 miles down to like the coffee spot. And then we sit there and we walk back. And I broke down, man, you know. I'm like, I can't do it. I'm never going to get better. And my mom was like, what's the number of that other doctor? Because I told her. I had it. I had to make the call. She called. My mom. I'm a grown man.
Yeah.
She makes the call, and just so happens that his wife picks up the phone at the office, and he had a cancellation. So comes in. So I'm going to mention his name. His name is Tariq Halim. And I know he's got like a name that sounds like he wasn't born in America, but he was.
What's his name?
Tariq Halim.
Okay.
So anybody in South Florida that needs a good doctor like that, it's a core revitalizing. I don't know. We'll make sure it goes in the notes. Core revitalizing.
Yeah, you
center.
can give that to me because there's a lot of retired guys that are down.
Yeah. Core,
Florida.
like this guy was awesome, man.
Okay.
So I walk in his office that day, driven by my mom. You know, like I already feel completely beat down, man. Like my mom's got to drive me to the doctor. Like I'm 5.
Wow.
So I walk in with my head down, you know, sit down. And he's like, hey, you know, he introduced himself. Like my head's like down, man. And he's like, tells me what's going on. He asked me to tell him what's going on. I tell him, he's like, oh, you're easy, man. Yeah, I got you. And then we kind of got kind of a connection, man. But he's just like a doctor that had a lot of empathy, you know? And then I knew I was in the right place. And it was the first time I had hope. Because he gave me hope. He said, look, you're going to be okay, man. But I'm going to tell you this right now. 80% is you, 20% is medicine. And he gave me like a whole program.
Whoa.
And like, so it was the first time I was open. I already was open to medicine because my general practitioner gave me something, but they're not like experts in it. They're just trying to help, you know? And it didn't work out. And the first medicine he gave me didn't work out. And I'm still struggling, but he gave me his cell phone number, text him, man. Like I'm texting this guy the whole time because I'm just feeling crazy. And I'm like, it's not working. He's like, you gotta give it 30 days. You gotta give it 30 days. I'm like, all right. And then it still wasn't working. And I texted him one day, I'm never taking that medicine again. He's like, don't worry. That was plan A. I got to Z.
Wow.
He's like, I went with what you told me some of your family members have done in the past, but everybody's different. So he changed up the medicine, and I started to get a little bit better, you know? I started to get a little bit of hope. But I still had dark days, man.
Yeah. Where are you now? Where are you now?
What do you mean? Like mentally?
Yeah.
In a good spot, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I still have my moments, but when I think back at it, and he made me realize this. I walk in there one day and I'm just like, so now I'm getting pissed. So what he did was he gave me a journal. And he's like, every hour of the day. So he's giving me purpose. you fill out what you're going to do every hour of the day. And you're going to do it every day in order and not skip anything. Because what I was having is like, isolation, paralyzation, and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's forcing you to do what's on this list.
Yeah.
So he's like, he's like, you only do it right before you go to bed. You fill it out.
Okay.
Like you don't fill a week ahead of time. Every night you fill this out. You have every hour of the day. And he said, make sure you have 2 hours for yourself in there somewhere, not your family. I didn't have kids. I don't have kids. Not when you're working. 2 hours for something that you like to do. Make sure it's in there. And then he asked me if I had hobbies. And I said, I used to collect baseball cards. He said, that's a good one. So I collect baseball cards now, man. Because it's just a healthier thing to do, Right. But that list, I would get stuck. Like some days I wouldn't finish the list and I would get so mad at myself, man. Like, damn, man. I didn't finish the list. Like, I froze in the middle and I laid on the couch. I got stuck. And then there was days I didn't do the list at all. And one day I went in there, I went to see him and he put in, perspective is everything, right? He said, when you came here, how many days did you have like that? I said, every day. He said, how many days you have like that? Nah. I said, 3 this month.
He said,
wow. He said, that's the point. It's progress. Wow. So you get to know them days. But like every time I got stuck, this is another part of the brain. I want to mention this about mental health, and I asked him about this one day. I said, why on those dark days do you forget all the work you put in and how far you came? And he said, that's just the human brain. There's no way to explain it. Yeah. So you just gotta, So you don't want to get stuck there after all that progress and then do something stupid,
If you were to be able to give one form of advice to somebody that's struggling right now in law enforcement, what would it be? Mentally, struggling mentally.
Like mentally, like?
Yeah. What would be if you could only tell them one thing, what would that one thing be?
If they're not talking to anybody, talk to somebody, man. It has to start with getting it out. It's everything you push down has to start coming out. And like I'm saying tough stuff here, right?
Yeah.
Because some of this is trauma. My mom driving me to the doctor.
Yeah.
Some of the recovery is trauma, man.
Yeah. And I think something that I haven't asked yet, a lot of people want to know, with you leaving on 3/4, how do you sustain a living? What's your...
Oh, I wanted to get to this because this is about purpose, right? And if I chose not to be here and made that choice, then this purpose that I have now never would have happened.
Yeah.
So I wound up taking a part-time job at an ice cream shop. And I don't think anything of it, man. Because my friend said they need somebody over there. And I wound up working. I don't have no kids, one miscarriage. That's my story on children with me and my wife. And it's a busy shop, and 90% of the staff is high school and college age kids. Okay. So when I first get there, I don't think anything of it, man. This is before, like, I'm not thinking it like I'm gonna make an impact here, man. And I would just do my job, and then I started hearing, like, cause I was in the back of the shop, and getting the ice cream ready. You know what I mean? I didn't work the front counter, and I could hear the kids talking in the back, and they'd be like talking about anxiety and struggle, and I think in my head, damn, man, like that was me at one point, and I was like, I gotta say something at some point because I don't want any of these kids going down this 25-year path I went down. You know what I mean? Yeah. I can't stop that.
Yeah.
But maybe if I say something, So we have a team meeting one Saturday morning, man. And I got to the point where I'm like, I could talk. I tell my doctor I'm gonna do this. I tell my wife, she's a little worried, but she's like, all right. I don't tell the owner. And that's another thing, man, I forgot to mention, man. Dave and Drew, 2 other tough ass guys, man. Gave me a lot of empathy. So I'm thankful for that.
Awesome.
So the dynamic of the shop is 3 guys in their 40s and high school and college kids. That's the dynamic there, man. And there's a lot of them. So,
How'd you end up there?
So a friend of mine, my friend Bert that passed away was friends with another guy who was my friend. We call him Wizard, another good guy. Used to clean there in the morning. And the guy that was doing some production in the back Dave, had to go up north and take care of some stuff in Boston. So they need somebody to fill in, you know. So I'm like, yeah, sure. No, actually, I didn't say yeah, sure right away. It took a couple times.
Yeah.
And and then I get there, I start working there. And like I said, I didn't realize how much of purpose it would be in my life. And one team meeting. So we have these team meetings on Saturdays. I'm looking at, they talking about, the job, like what you got to do, this and that. And I'm like, I'm about to, not this deep. I didn't go this deep. But I want these kids to know 2 things. That they're not the only ones. And I wanted them to hear it from somebody that, not that I had authority, I don't have like a title there, but somebody that, because they already kind of talked to me in the back. I don't know, man. I had connection with them through music.
Yeah.
Like I always try to find, like so many decades in between us, I try to find.
Right.
So usually the first thing I'll ask a new employee is like, what kind of music you listen to? Because I love music, man. So it's a connection. You know what I mean? Just to break the ice. Yeah. Because the generational gap there. And then they would start, like talking to me in the back, telling me stuff like struggle. And, I would try to give them the best advice I can. I'm dealing with some people that are under 18, so I gotta be like a little careful of like what kind of advice I give. Sure. I can give general advice. You know what I mean? Like I can't tell them go to a doctor, but I can give you general advice, you know what I mean? And I went up there one day and I told that dark story, just not as dark. And I didn't know how it was gonna play out, man. And I had, I was like, man, I don't care if they all make fun of me. If it helps one of these kids in here, it's worth it. And Dave told me it was pretty brave. And I was like, man, thanks, man. And then a couple of the kids on the low was like thankful. Thanks. And like they didn't come out.
Which story specifically? Just everything.
Just that I went through that struggle to the point where I couldn't work. And now you see me here. You see a different version of me.
Wow.
Working 12 hours, helping. Help, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't always there, man. I was at a point where I was stuck in my room for 3 months. I want to let them know that you can get there and get better, and not to drink alcohol, try to find a better way.
Now you seem like you're in great shape physically. When did you realize that you needed to get your physical health in order as well?
So this is another part of my recovery. Like I couldn't run, and my wife had a Peloton bike. One day I got on it, man. Like I didn't believe in it. Foo-foo. Same thing. Funny story. The hotel stayed until I had one. I got on it for 20 minutes. But their platform is a lot about that, man. A lot about mental health, a lot about gratitude, a lot about being kind to yourself. Not only like you're riding a bike, but it's more than that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's more than that. It's bigger than that. So that's how. And then I started to realize that if I don't work out, I feel not as good.
Yeah.
So it's part of what I have to do.
Yeah.
To feel okay. So that's another thing. Like the fight never stops, man.
Do you feel yourself? It seems like you've recovered very well. Usually when it comes down to mental health, it's continuous. It doesn't stop. I mean, we're always going to have a brain. We're always going to have a mind.
No, the fight is all the time, man. Yeah. So, but you just get better at coping with it.
Yeah.
Over time, and it gets better. But you're still gonna have a bad day, man. But when you have those bad days as time has gone on, you just recognize them as bad days.
Do you see yourself incorporating more spirituality into your journey?
Yeah, I have, for sure.
Okay.
And I mean, that's just gonna be another part of the process. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I just want to go back to those kids real quick, man. Because they don't, I try to tell them this, man. But since then, some of the older ones, the college ones, you know, I've got to interact with more and, you know, help them more. You know what I mean? And they don't know how much they help me. Because every time, now I'm on camera saying it, every time I say it to them, it holds me accountable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I said that in front of the team meeting, or I say it to them in the back, like, don't do it this way. I'm telling you, the answer's not the end of the bottle. I looked at everyone, man. Yeah, I checked thousands of bottles. There ain't no answer there. So if you're looking for it there, you ain't gonna find it. I know it for a fact. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it holds me accountable.
That's beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? Two, you know, then they got grace and they're thankful, and I appreciate that. They say thank, you know what I mean? Like, not that I'm trying to like be a hero, man. I'm not. I'm just trying to prevent people from being where I was. That's it. Because I knew how bad it was.
And that's more than enough. I'm going to ask this last question here.
But I just got, before we end this, I got to read some names.
Please do.
All right, so unfortunately, before this, this was recorded last night. I'm gonna say I'm gonna butcher his name, but we had a retired officer last night at about 1,800 hours take his own life, and he posted before it did, and that post it's very tough to read because he calls himself a coward in the post, and his name he worked at Manhattan North Narcotics, been, you know, so this first grade detective.
First grade detective
in Manhattan North Narcotics. I don't know if that's where we retired out of, but because I'm like friends of friends. You know what I mean?
Okay. And he's been retired for 10 years.
Yeah, I think so. Because he's friends with Eddie Arias.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of guys in that unit that are hurting today, bro. Because they was on a group chat together. Yeah. And he took his own life last night. And it was, I'm gonna say PG because I can't say his first name. Okay. That good detective, but first grade, man. That's what we saying is weakness. He's like first grade detective Manhattan. I think it was Manhattan South Narcotics. Like that's the toughest job, bro. Like I ain't weakness, man. These are the toughest people, bro. Yeah. We have veterans kill each other every 22 minutes. These ain't weakness.
First grade detective is not something that's easy to make in the New York City Police Department,
especially in narco, man.
Narcotics at that.
Yeah, those guys, man. They're like, you know. Yeah. So I want to say rest in peace to him and prayers to his family and those guys, because I know they're hurting today. And then there's people, I think D.I. Mulaney. I didn't know him either, but I went to the academy with his sister-in-law. Took his own life, man. Not last night, just in general. And then, of course, Officer Fantuzzi from the 2-3. I never really worked with her, but and then Officer Dempsey, she was in my impact class. She went to 3-0, but unfortunately took her own life. So the point of this is to stop adding names to this list, man. You know, it is.
Yeah.
That's why I'm out here. That's why I came here today. So to me, every time I hear it, it's the same as somebody getting killed out there in line of duty. That's how it feels to me, man. Every time I hear one, because I went through it, I know what it feels like to be there. And I just want to say, this is an important thing too, because there's a lot of misconceptions about suicide, man. And even law enforcement. So people think it's the easy way out. If you heard me talk and you kind of listened, you get to the point where you think it's your only way out. You've exhausted every other option, man. And you think the world's better off without you. And we only use our firearms when, right? Last option, right?
Yeah. Wow.
So imagine, it's hard to imagine what just happened last night, but unfortunately, but imagine somebody, look, man, I don't know if it's on camera, that's on my shooting arm for a reason. It says never give up, and it's on my shooting arm for a reason. I know that's dark, but it is what it is.
Wow. That's deep, bro.
But think of somebody sitting there with their firearm in their hand, just in that dark place, and thinking this is the only way out, bro.
What that does for me and the way that you just worded that is,
I just wanted to link it to law enforcement a little bit.
yeah, but the way that I link that is that we usually take out our firearms, like you said, for the last option, but also against our adversary
Yeah,
and our enemy.
that's what you do.
So in that moment, when somebody takes their lives, they see themselves as the enemy.
Yeah, they see themselves. I can't look, man. I'm not gonna point the broad brush over everybody, man, because everybody's different.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you where I was, and I know I'm not the only one. And just from talking to doctors and other people that have been through it, one, you're trying to, you think you're a burden to your family,
Right.
that you're a net negative in life, that you'll never be who you used to be, that you're just an EDP. You know what I'm saying?
EDP stands for
Emotionally disturbed person.
Yeah.
And so that's why I don't want guys calling each other that, man. But we do it all day long. Right? And some people are gonna call me an EDP for being on here. I don't care. So,
yeah,
but
greater purpose, brother.
So just think about that, man. Like, just think of somebody sitting in a room all alone, man, thinking they have no other way out, bro. And this is the only way to end the evil or the noise in their head.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? They're not taking the easy way out. Unfortunately, that detective wrote coward in his post. He ain't no damn coward. First grade detective narco.
It's a lot from the enemy.
But the enemy creeps in the brain, and it creeps in a lot of people's brains, and it wins sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? But I just want to let people know, if you're in that spot, man. Yeah, I tell people all this all the time. I tell the kids this at work. I will pick up the phone at 3 a.m. I'm just that guy, man. I wear my earphones to sleep in case my phone rings, bro.
Wow.
So if anybody knows me, don't know me, I don't care. You can message me. I'll give you my number.
Where can people?
I don't even know my Instagram.
Okay.
Well, we'll get it.
Before that, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But my last question is, and I ask everybody this: what does purpose over pension mean to you?
So I found more purpose in that ice cream shop than I did on the NYPD. So, like, you could find, and if I would have took my life, I never would have got there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's my final purpose.
Yeah.
But right now, it has become a purpose.
Yeah.
You know, and just recently it was my birthday, and these kids wrote a birthday card, man, to me, and they wrote like impact statements.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful.
And I'm so thankful for it. Not that I want recognition.
Yeah.
But you just kind of want to know, am I doing the right thing out here, man? Is talking about this like doing the right thing, you know? So that makes me know I should be here today. That detective taking his life last night bothers me to no end, but I know I'm supposed to be here, you know?
Thank you for being here.
I thank you for having me, man, because I needed, like, I had the ability to talk to the team meeting that time, but I didn't have a big audience, you know?
Yeah.
But more guys have been talking, man, you know, I try.
Well, listen, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that your message gets out. It'll be on all platforms, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. You share with your people.
Yeah, I'm going to share, man. I'm going to put on retired. I told him, man, I posted today on one of the retired pages. I said, I'm going to do a podcast about mental health right now, and I'm going to post the link. And, you know, I don't care. I don't care about the negative comments. I don't care.
Nah, it doesn't matter.
That's another thing, man. That's another thing I would say about mental health is you're going to have to make some tough decisions and create boundaries. And some people ain't going to like it, man.
Yeah.
You know?
But
we're going to go back to like everybody liking your thing.
Yeah.
So you're going to create these boundaries, and some are going to be boundaries around people you love, like family members and stuff. Stuff that triggers you or sets you off, you know? You got to just, and instead of just like playing a character and saying everything's okay and like I don't like events at my house. I don't. But I used to do it because I was trying to make everybody happy, but I was miserable the whole time.
Wow.
My anxiety was high, and it was tough on my wife because I was very stressed out. So I had to tell my own mom, who helped me so much, like, I'm not having any more events at my house.
Wow.
You know what I mean? That's a boundary, but it's tough, man.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, I'm going to work at it, though, to the point where I don't feel that way. But right now, I do. You know, I'm not going to say I'm not going to get there.
Right. But that's just what it is.
You got to start creating boundaries, and you got to start eliminating toxicity too.
Yeah.
Like negative people, man. Even music you listen to, like, could change how you feel. So if you're sitting there and you got a bunch of depressive music on, change it, man.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Put something positive on, man. And then you go to the spiritual thing. You know, I was getting real angry recently, and I did. I went back to church because I wanted to do something positive with the energy. You know, instead of doing what I used to do, just push it down, right? And then it's gonna come back.
100%.
And then when I go back to the shop real quick, man. Like I look at these kids haven't heard me talk like this deep. They're gonna be listening to this, man. So they're like my squad, bro. Like somebody came through that door doing evil, I'm stepping through it. Then you gotta go through me, man.
That's it.
That's it. It's the same, bro. 1013, same thing, bro. I also want them to know that. You know, I think they know it, but
I love it, brother.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming today, Eric, and just laying everything out.
I want to thank you for having this platform. And the best piece of advice I could give is just, especially cops, man, just being kinder to each other, bro. Have some grace. Have some empathy for each other, man. Stop playing that dumb game that we all play, man. Just cause everybody else did it before us.
You're right.
Just like you go to roll call, and they're like, look out for each other, right? Every roll call.
Yeah.
Look out for each other, back each other up, right?
One end through the other.
Yeah. But when it comes to stuff like that, yeah, but a 1013 gets called offline. You know, somebody you hear that radio click, you're offline there. You're willing to die for it, man. You're going 100 miles an hour. You don't care if that car flips. But when somebody needs help like this, we make fun.
Yeah.
Just change that up, man. Because I can't change the NYPD structure, but we can change how we treat each other. Right?
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said.
That's
Thank
it,
you so
man.
much,
So
brother.
God bless everybody out there. Rest in peace to everybody that unfortunately lost that battle. And anybody out there that's close, man, you'll be all right. There's light. I'm telling you, there's light. Just believe me.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.